Here we go. Welcome to the Wise Guys, laboring on the first Monday of September, designated as a national holiday for almost everybody in 1894. And here in 2025, we're rolling out the largest BYU sports live stream show in the world, the most watched collegiate live stream show on YouTube. And YouTube is huge. Dave McCann, Blaine Fowler, we're the Wise Guys. Happy Monday.
And hey, happy Monday to you too. And you know what? We have the data to support what you just said. And I don't have any data to support this. But I'm just going to say this is the most international sports live stream anywhere in the world.
That's two witnesses.
Is that crazy to say that? But I think it is, and it's the most international. Some Monday nights we're in 5 continents,
and
which
we're
is
a
nuts.
Reflection of Cougar fans all over the world.
And everybody's already in the house. Saratoga Springs in the house, California, Russell Smith in the house, Riverton, Utah is in the house, and on and on and on. We'll keep acknowledging those. That are jumping in. Utah's showing strong already. The Orem's in the house, the Larry Wynn, the Openshaws and Payson are in the house. Huntsville, Alabama in the house. I like that when Rebel Dog is in the house from Huntsville, Alabama.
There's Weston from Nebraska, and we're just getting started. Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus, Eddie, and Mountain America Credit Union, distributed by the Deseret News. Look for our new podcast wherever you get your podcasts. That will be out tomorrow.
And make sure you subscribe to our free email at wiseguys.com. Dave and I are subscribers ourselves. We subscribe to our own email.
I know, it's nice. I love getting it.
So you get updates. You can also watch all of our past content when you go to the site at wiseguys.com. Make sure you hit the free subscribe button on your YouTube channel as well. It makes us look good to YouTube, and it helps us continue on this journey, and we're on this journey together. Naperville, Illinois, in the house with Russ Paulos.
Russ, I hope you're enjoying that Cubs walk-off win.
There you go.
Just a short time ago.
Ron Ward's in Southeast Idaho. I'm guessing he's in Ammon today is where I'm thinking. I don't know. I think Ammon, Idaho is where he is. Could be Rexburg, could be Pokey, could be Idaho Falls. I don't know, but he just says Southeast Idaho.
So it's a holiday, and we want everyone, wherever you're taking us in, to let us know where you're at, all over the planet. And again, we'll try to give you a shout out because that's what we do, and we like doing it. On the show tonight, which is an awesome one, we'll recap the Portland State blowout. We'll preview the Stanford game coming up this week. We're going to hear from Kalani Sitake in just a couple of minutes. Also, Siala Esera, one of the outstanding linebackers. We'll hear from him.
Yeah, Siala's he's one of my favorite people on the team as well. I wish everybody got a chance to interact with these kids like we get to. And Siali was one of the ones, a number of you did get to interact with Siali on the cruise because he's one of the ones that came on the cruise along with Sione Moa. And if you got a chance to interact with Siali, you realize that he's quite a personality. He is a fun-loving, easygoing kid until he steps onto the football field. Then he's a flat-out terrorist, just terrorizing offenses. And so I love Siali. He's doing great, and we've got him tonight.
Nathan's in from Chicago on the stream.
Yeah,
go Cubs, he says. David's in from Columbia, Maryland.
All right,
and around and over. There's Cedar Park, Texas, home of the new Austin Temple. Phil, good to see you.
Very, very good. Hey, not only do we have Kalani and thoughts from Kalani, and you got a chance to talk to CLA, we got women's cross country head coach Diljeet Taylor in the house with us tonight, and we're going to talk about the number 1 ranked Cougars in cross country.
How about that?
Preseason number 1, defending national champs. Diljeet's in the house. We're going to talk about what's that like? They just cut preseason number 1.
Yeah,
and you're the reigning champs.
That's got to be good.
Pretty fun.
We'll also have Vance Law in our studio, former Cubs All-Star, third base, a longtime BYU baseball coach. His 3 boys played at BYU. One's currently an assistant coach, and Adam with the Cougars. And we're going to talk about, there's some really cool things Vance did in his day at BYU and in the major leagues, and that's going to be a fun visit. So Diljeet Taylor and Vance Law live on the show tonight.
And I used to play golf a little bit with Vance, not too long after he was out of the Major League Baseball. And I'm going to tell you right now, and lots of baseball players can hit the golf ball far. Like Corey Snyder, I play with Corey. He can mash the ball. Even Wally Joyner, our good friend Wally, lefty, he really can hit the ball. Nobody like Vance Law. He would hit the ball, and it would just keep rising and going and going and going. And we'd stand there with our mouths open, and then it would settle down at like 3:30 or 3:35 out there, and we would go, holy cow, Vance can hit a golf ball. So just great hand-eye coordination, great hitter in Major League, great infielder. Even we'll talk about some other things he did that were very unusual, but we're excited. Vance is in the house as well, right?
Yep.
So we got Diljeet and Vance right here with us, and then we're going to talk about our Relight Athlete of the Week. We're sure you'll get a kick out of who our Relight Athlete is.
Is that a teaser? Is that a teaser?
That's what we call a tease.
Steve's in from Las Vegas on the stream. Stephanie, hello from Idaho Falls. What a win Saturday. Love my Cougs. Good to have the Mackeys from Drummond, Montana.
Always in.
On the show. They're done traveling all over the place in the summer now. They're bunkered. They're hunkered down for the school year. Steve's in St. George, and on we go. We want to let you know that Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus. Brady Plus provides cleaning, food service, and packaging equipment, dispensers, and service and repairs with over 150 distribution facilities across the country. They're huge. They've got over 6,000 employees. You can learn more about them at bradyplus.com.
And we've known Travis Brady for a long time, right? You've known him longer than me, but I've known him for a long time as well. And everywhere I go, I see Brady Plus. Everywhere I go, doesn't matter where you are in the country. You're in a public building where you will. There's evidence of Brady Plus everywhere in the country.
They're taking over the world, and they're taking Wise Guys with them.
Yes, they are. Mountain America Credit Union, helping people achieve their financial dreams for over 80 years. Whether you're interested in buying a home, planning for retirement, managing daily expenses, Mountain America has the tools, the technology, and the guidance to help you succeed. There's a lot of information waiting for you out there at macu.com to help you with your finances. We're grateful to have Mountain America Credit Union as a title sponsor.
We're going to be at their headquarters on Thursday for luncheon with Ciali.
Speaking of Ciali, yes, sir. I told him the other day, I said, hey, we're doing a lunch together. He goes, yeah, it's so cool.
It's going to be awesome. There's Boise, Idaho checking in with Brent. Good to have you here. Alan in from Apple Valley, California. Wise Guys also presented by Eddie, HR and payroll software built for small businesses. Whether you run a dental office in Spanish Fork, Utah, or a construction crew in Lehigh, Eddie helps you hire, onboard, track time, and run payroll all in one place. Simple, local, reliable, built by business owners who believe people come first. See how Eddie can serve your team at Eddie.com. Those are our title sponsors. We love them, and they allow us to do this show for free to you. And so we hope you love these companies as well.
Yeah, and then we're going to introduce you to our Relight Athlete of the Week, presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. And I'm excited about our Relight Athlete of the Week this week. We'll get to it in just a bit.
Jordan is in from Greenville, North Carolina. Says, I got the inside scoop. The scouting track on ECU, if anyone's interested. We are interested, but let's get through Stanford first.
And then let's have a bye. And then Jordan, we're gonna have you comment and help us out here on that show where we lead into ECU.
Wise Guys distributed by the Deseret News and Deseret.com, Utah's newspaper since 1850. We love our association with them. You can see quotes and stuff from our shows, and then they retweet our stuff to their vast following all over the place. And so we love having our star attached to the Deseret News, based out of Salt Lake City, Utah's oldest newspaper. Let's get to some headlines, and we start with the football polls. It's Monday, and they usually come out, but they're not because TCU and North Carolina are playing tonight. So tomorrow we'll see the coaches poll, and we'll see the AP Top 25. BYU was 23 before beating Portland State 69-0, and they were 26 in the AP, so the coaches had them 23. Associated Press had them 26. We'll see what happens. A couple of teams struggled in front of them, but ESPN's Football Power Index, that is new today, and they have BYU up to 17.
Yeah, they're ahead of Utah and Iowa State from the Big 12, which is interesting. And they've also updated BYU's projected wins to 8.9. So they're on that upward climb. And if they go out and they have a convincing win against Stanford, I'll be really interested to see what happens. Again, BYU is underrated to begin the season.
Sure.
Here's my fear with the Associated Press poll. I'm interested in what you all think out there. Florida State's going to jump in. They weren't ranked. And they spanked Alabama, right? Mm-hmm. So, and rightly so. I think Florida State should move in. I don't think Florida State's going to move in at 25. I think Florida State's going to move in at 15.
Yeah, they're charging in.
Or maybe even higher than that, right? So that's going to bump a bunch of teams back. So Boise State's going to fall out.
Kansas State should fall out.
Probably will fall out. So it would appear that there are two spots open in that top 25.
Florida State's going to get one of them.
Yeah. I'd like to think BYU would get 25.
It seems like BYU should.
A lot of people on Utah's bandwagon.
But is Utah...
Auburn
because
Utah
played UCLA and not Portland State, does Auburn, because they ran the ball so unbelievably well and they're in the SEC, did they move in? So this isn't a given that BYU is going to move 25.
No.
I think they play a Power 4 team this next week from the ACC in Stanford. That's so weird for me to say, an ACC team in Stanford.
That's the world we live in.
And then let me tell you, Stanford's not any worse than UCLA. UCLA was horrible last year. They're horrible again this year. I don't know how a team like UCLA, with all of the resources they have in this gorgeous campus up in Westwood and the history that they have, can be this bad year after year. They're terrible.
Yeah.
And
nobody goes to their games.
And Stanford's not always terrible, but they're having a little bit of a struggle because they just, when you fire your head coach after spring ball, that's a rough go. Right? But they do have some athletes. I've been doing a little bit of the scouting, and they do have some athletes. So this will be interesting. Much more resistance than Portland State. They're going to be better at every position than Portland State was. So this is a bigger challenge. So now, if Utah goes and plays Cal Poly this week and blows them out, and everybody goes, well, Cal Poly's like Portland State, and BYU blows out Stanford, does that?
It should.
It should trump it, right? But
yeah.
but we'll see. We'll see. I'm worried that. I'm not worried that Florida State's going in. Florida State's going in, and they should. I'm worried that Utah may get that 25 spot and not BYU this week.
They might.
And we'll see. But you know what? Give it 5 weeks.
Yeah, it'll all work out.
Give it 5 weeks, and I project BYU will be in the top 15.
On the stream tonight, Zach says, checking in from work at the MTC travel office.
Okay.
Parentheses, not a missionary.
Yeah,
so
of course, Zach. That's why it's perfectly legal that you're watching it there. Okay.
Neil's in from Tucson. Looking forward to Stanford. Very excited when the Cougs will come to Tucson on October 11th. Neil, it's good to have you on the stream tonight. Let's talk about what we liked in that 69-0 win. And folks on the stream, let us know what you liked, and we'll try to share as many of those comments with everybody else.
Yeah, give us your favorite. Throw out your favorite thing from that game. What you liked the most.
So on the list of what we liked, Bear Bachmeier, 5 total touchdowns in his debut in 2 quarters. That's a program record for a true freshman to be in on 5 touchdowns in his first game, or for any game for a true freshman. Yeah, we like that.
Yeah, we love the way LJ Martin, we've been talking about it all spring and fall. Finally, he was healthy, had a little more explosiveness during fall camp that we all noticed. He looks faster, and it showed up on the field. Yeah. He only had 8 carries, but he had 131 yards. That's a 16.4 yard average for LJ.
He had some big plays.
He looked good.
Could have run. If he stayed in the third quarter, he'd have had 200 yards.
Yeah.
Talked to him today. He's our feature on Game Day on Saturday, and he's running healthy. Since in his last 2 games, he's been healthy. Colorado and Portland State, he's got 224 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, one was Portland State, one was Colorado, but in both was a healthy LJ, and that is huge. Here's something else we liked. Will Ferrin's 56-yard field goal, extending his streak to 18 straight made field goals into the wind.
Yeah, and there was this tells you how chill these guys are. I don't think Will even knew about it, and I don't think Sam knew about it. I don't think Grimes, the long snapper, knew about it. But somebody said, this would tie a record. And immediately Grimes says, hey, if you guys want to move the spot back 1 yard, I can snap it back there, and he can get the record if he wants. Yeah. That's how, it's like, hey, doesn't matter. I'll snap it an extra yard if you need me to. And clearly Will would make a 57 yard or 2, but they were just like, no, stay with we just got to do our thing. And I thought Will's comments were interesting, where he said, it doesn't matter what the distance is. Some people say, well, you're going to kick at a lower trajectory, it's going to get blocked. That's certainly what happened with Portland State's field goal attempt that got blocked. He goes, no, our operation is exactly the same no matter where we are in the field. No matter what hash, no matter what the distance, we do it exactly the same. It's like shooting a free throw for him. I'm going to hit it with the same trajectory, I'm going to hit it in the same spot. And it doesn't matter whether it's 56 yards or an extra point. If I do it right and my steps are right, it's going through the pipes.
Yep, 18 straight.
And the proof is out there.
Here's something else we liked. The festive atmosphere, full house, 64,494. Ivan on the stream said, considering it was an FCS school, the support was fantastic. And it was a good time had by all. Brett Allen in from Melissa, Texas. Phil has a comment. His favorite thing, that tornado reverse misdirection extraordinaire, and he can fly. I believe he's talking about Cody Hagan.
Oh, Cody Hagan.
And his 57-yard run. And you know what? I had a hard time figuring out who had the ball. There were bodies going everywhere.
And you're absolutely right, Phil. Cody can fly.
Yeah.
He's one of the fastest players in the country. He's one of the... There's this big debate. Is it Evan Johnson? Is it Cody Hagan? Is it one of the McKenzie brothers? Is it, believe it or not, Maury Bamba, as big as he is right there. All 4 of those or 5 of those would say, no, I'm the fastest guy. I can run 10-4, 10-300 meters. What's crazy is in the history of BYU football, 101 years, have you ever had 4 or 5 guys that fast?
Yeah.
They're world-class sprinters.
It's awesome.
Which is really, really fun. So, no, I love that.
David Woodruff said, generally clean operation, physically way ahead, but didn't get sloppy even with the 3rd and 4th string groups. That's true. Just the 1 turnover in the whole game. We'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah. Neil says Saturday was the day that a bear and a tiger became Cougars. That is true.
Hey, Zach says not only was it a sellout, they stayed until the final whistle.
Yeah, the fireworks afterwards.
Yeah, it was really fun. A couple other things. BYU played starting in the 3rd quarter. The 3s, the 4s, even some 5s played in that game. They played 4 quarterbacks. They went 3-4 deep at running back. The entire secondary went 3 and 4 deep. The linebackers went 3 and 4 deep. And they really didn't drop off in terms of execution. That's huge. That's about discipline and coaching. Your biggest fear is when you finally get a chance to put those kids in, that the execution is going to drop off, and you're going to give up yards defensively. The offense is going to maybe turn it over or not function. When McKay Hillstead came in, and they had a backup offensive line, they looked sharp, moved the football. When Trayson Bourget came in, and they put the 3 offensive line in the 3 backs, they moved the football and looked sharp. And it didn't seem to matter who was in defensively. Guys were assignment sound, and they executed. That is different than what we've had in the past. Not because they didn't try to coach them up. The level of talent and the level of engagement at BYU is finally at a Power 4 level. They are deep and they are talented. It's really, really evident on the defensive side of the ball. That's maybe my favorite part about the game. Not just the fact that for only the 2nd time in 101 years they scored more points than the other team had yards.
Yeah.
But the level of execution when they got deep into the depth chart has really put a smile on Kalani's face.
One thing we didn't like was Parker Kingston fumbled a punt.
Yeah.
There were 10 punts. There was a lot of punts, and there were a lot of guys out fielding them. But that was the only turnover of the game for BYU, first time out. Kingston bounced back and had a couple of good returns after that. So really, if you're looking for what didn't you like? Well, I didn't like fumbling a punt.
Yeah.
That was about it.
That was it. Well, there's one of the, and this isn't something I disliked, but I want to throw this out here. And you and I were talking about it just a little bit ago. We were getting ready for the show. And I said this before the show. I realized that BYU is better at every single position on the field than Portland State, right? And I knew that they could go out there and just run the ball for 400 yards if they wanted to. But I kept saying last week, can we please let Bear throw the ball 20 to 25 times?
Yeah. Just
for our experience sake. Distribute the ball, get him in the feel of different types of throws, and he only threw 11 balls. So I wish that they could have gotten him more throwing experience. I think he'll have to throw it a little bit more against Stanford. They'll be better against the run than Portland State. And so I'd like to see him get 20-plus throws this week. I'm very hopeful that happens. But that I'm just disappointed they didn't get more experience in the throw game. But part of the problem is when they were running the football that they had so many explosive plays. Dave, you brought this up to me. You're like, think about it. 59-yard play here, 47-yard play there. They talk about the whirlwind, what's it called? The hurricane reverse? Or the whirlwind reverse?
Yeah.
That was another, like...
Tornado was in there.
Tornado reverse. They had so many big plays in the run game that it made drives a lot shorter. And so it probably took away some opportunities to throw the football.
Yeah.
So I'm just hopeful. I think BYU has a chance to be dominating against Stanford this week. I would really like to see Bear have more of an opportunity to make all the different types of throws in this next game because he needs that opportunity. He needs the opportunity to feel what it feels like in a real game. Stanford's got better athletes than Portland State, so I think he'll have a chance to this week.
Let's revisit Blaine's keys to the game. Not only does he give them on this show, and then we follow up.
You hold me accountable.
And we see how it went. Key number one going in was to take care of the ball. There was just the one turnover from Parker, so I'll give you a check on that.
Yeah, we'll give him a check. I actually against that team wanted to see 0 turnovers. Yeah. But one's okay, especially it was on special teams, that's okay.
Develop the pass game. Bear was 7 of 11, 97 yards, no interceptions, 3 touchdowns in 2 quarters of work. But do you want to give a flat line on that?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it
wasn't. You wanted more passes?
His pass for efficiency rating was great because the way he took care of the ball and his completion percentage and the touchdowns to play ratio was big. So he did all those things. I just wanted him to throw 22 to 25 balls.
Yeah.
So
okay, and then 3, no major defensive breakdowns. 51 yards allowed of total offense, minus 5 yards rushing. So you get a check on that.
Do people realize that on the first 2 drives of that game, one BYU, and remember, BYU hadn't live tackled for they're not tackling our own backs and our own receivers to the ground in practice. Yeah. You just don't do that anymore. You risk injury, right? So they're kind of tagging guys down and all that. So the first 2 drives, BYU looked like they've been tagging guys instead of tackling them. They missed a few tackles. They took a bad angle. And on those first 2 drives, Portland State got 2 first downs, and they had 27 yards of offense on the first drive and 20 on the second drive. That's 47 yards of offense. Then BYU looked like, oh yeah, now we remember our angles, and now we remember how to tackle. And they end up with what total? 51 yards.
51 for the whole game.
They had 4 additional yards of total offense after the first 2 drives and not a single first down, and they went backward running the football.
And that's with the first team, second team, third team, fourth team. Some students, I think, came down on the rock and joined the defense in the second half. Hey, and they all played good.
I know this defense because I happen to have a coach that lives at my house.
Right.
And they put some guys in there, and I don't even know who that guy is. and yet, whoever that guy was executed at a high level. Yeah. Minus 5 yards rushing, I don't care who you're playing. That is really impressive to not make a big mistake in a game like that and give up a big play.
Eric's on the stream, says, wow, Wise Guys working on the holiday. No holiday in Singapore. So glad you are working.
That's why we're here, because we only take holidays when they're world holidays.
Nick Smith in Pensacola, Florida on the stream. Hey, let us know where you're at tonight. Vance Law's coming up. Diljeet Taylor as well. We're going to hear from Kalani in just a couple minutes. Let's shift to Saturday night. Stanford is here. BYU Sports Nation Game Day starts at 6 Mountain Time on BYU TV. First hour live at Cougar Canyon with The Rock and everybody. Second hour inside the stadium with the exclusive warm-up coverage. The game is at 8:15 Mountain Time. That's 10:15 back on the East Coast. And the next day, Sunday morning, Eric, for you over in Singapore. Post-game shows on the BYU TV app. Our post-game shows all season long are on the BYU TV app. So after the game, if you're going to BYU TV, you're not finding us where the pregame show was. The app, it's on your phone, it's on your tablet, it's wherever you go. It's the most convenient. So just look for us. When we went on for about an hour and a half after the game.
And here's the thing about the BYU TV app. As mentioned, Dave said, it's free. So it's easy to download. Now, if you have a smart TV, like on my big TV in my family room, I have the BYU TV app on the TV. So you actually can have it on your television.
Yeah.
If you don't have the BYU TV app, you can watch it on your iPad. But you can also, if you have an Apple TV or you have an older generation smart TV, you can bring up the BYU TV app and you can screen mirror it off of your phone onto your TV. And it's broadcast in digital to the app. So it's very, very good quality. It's not like grainy or anything like that. So people were asking me yesterday at church about, like when the post game's on the app, I wish I could watch it on my TV. And I asked them what kind of TV they have, and I said, you can watch it on your TV. You need to screen mirror it, right? And I kind of walked them through it. So if you don't know how to do it, ask a neighbor that's a teenager. They know how to do it. Right?
That's right. Joyce and Gary are on the stream from Guyana, so good to have you on the other side of the world. Cougar fans are everywhere. This is a riot. BYU and Stanford, they'll meet for the 4th time this week. That's it. It'll be Stanford's 2nd game in Provo ever. Seems like that rivalry, well, it's not a rivalry, but it seemed like that matchup should be going on for a long time.
It's been a recruiting rivalry for a long time, but they haven't played that much. Last meeting, BYU won 35-26 at Stanford. That was in 2022. And then the last time Stanford came to Provo, Stanford won 18-14. That was in 2003. So it's a long time since Stanford's been to Provo.
The Cardinal are 0-1. They lost at Hawaii 2 weeks ago, 23-20 on a field goal at the end of the game. Frank Reich is the new head coach. He's the interim. Remember, they fired Taylor after spring practice. So Frank got the job March 31st. And the general manager is Andrew Locke. Remember him from Stanford, but they've got a project ahead of them. Ben Gulbranson is the quarterback. He's a transfer from Oregon State. Bachmeier was beating him out in spring, and then Bachmeier left when the coach was fired. He came up here. So Gulbranson's got the starting job for Stanford. And against Hawaii, he was 15 of 30, threw a pick, 109 yards. Hard to gauge. And Micah Ford, though, ran hard. He ran 26 times for 113 yards and a touchdown. So BYU's defense will have to deal with him.
My favorite part about the Stanford team is their running back room. They have some good running backs. I really like Micah Ford. He's like 6 feet tall, 220, low to the ground, runs with a low pad level, and he seemed to be like their best player on offense, their best weapon. 76 rushes for 309 yards last season, averaged over 4 yards a carry on a team that wasn't real good last year. So he's somebody to watch for. They had 286 yards of total offense against Hawaii in that loss. That's not a lot. 109 passing and 177 rushing. They want to be a run-based football team. That's what Frank Reich wants them to be, kind of like the good old days when Stanford was good. To give you an idea, Hawaii had 306 total yards in that game, 210 passing, 96 rushing. Then they played Arizona the next week, and Arizona held them to 293 total yards. The difference in the Arizona and Stanford games is that Arizona forced a bunch of turnovers. Hawaii turned the ball over a bunch against Arizona. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. The quarterback, he's a big guy, 6'3", 220. He's not a run-around guy, doesn't run. I think that's why they were going to start Bear. Bear's just more mobile. Yeah. He's a pocket passer kind of a guy. His best receivers, maybe, I don't know, his biggest target is Chris Holt, or Chico Holt, their tight end. He's just a sophomore, 6'5", 250. Had his first career reception, but they look to him, and their best wide receiver is C.J. Williams. He's a senior. He had 3 receptions this last week. So things kind of got depleted. They had to go to the transfer portal, which Stanford doesn't usually do after spring.
They brought in 17 transfers, which is the most ever for Stanford, and it's actually more than anyone has transferred to Stanford combined.
Right.
Over all these years, they've had 14 transfers. This year they got 17. So there's a lot of new blood out there, and they're different. They look the same in their uniforms. But Christian McCaffrey is not coming out of that locker room on Saturday night. BYU is a 17.5-point favorite. Weather's going to be perfect in the 70s with partly cloudy skies, and the Cougs will be in the royal jerseys with a white helmet, white pants, and the royal trim.
That's sharp.
That's
one of my favorites. Yeah,
that is going to look good. Kalani Sitake addressed the media on this Labor Day just a few hours ago. Here's his opening thoughts, and we'll react to those. Kalani Sitake from earlier today.
Okay, well, game week number 2, so we're excited about the matchup with Stanford. We're able to kind of get the film. We have meetings and practice today, so we will look at the film and see any mistakes that were made that we need to correct. Get that done today too. But I'm pretty sure everybody's watched the film on their own. But it'll be good for us to get together after having the day off, get together and do it as a staff with our players. Felt really good about the overall performance. I think if you guys heard me say that before, now after watching the film, I feel even better seeing it. Obviously, there's still some errors out there, but those are very fixable. So we'll get through that. Just about the game, again, the biggest highlight for me as a head coach and for our program was the fans. We keep talking about it. I keep hearing the players talk about it in the locker room after the game, and even today you can hear the buzz going around about how amazing our fans were. I mean, school's not even in session yet, and the Rock was amazing, and so seeing the student section and all the fans and everybody supported, and they're loud too. So that was really impressive, man, to have that type of atmosphere in since 2009, I was told. So that's super special. So just want to let the fans know how much we love and appreciate them, and man, they have been big time since I remember being part of the fan base when I was a little boy. So it's nice to see them out doing their things and making noise for us. Matchup with Stanford this week. They had the game against Hawaii in week 0, and then they had last week, they had a bye. So they've had a couple of weeks now to prepare for. They will have a couple of weeks to prepare for us. And then, us not having, I think the benefit I've said before is that we have all our staff, our coaches back for another year. The negative part of that is that everything you saw in film from last year are the same guys that are calling the shots right now on offense, defense, and special teams. So they have a lot of film to look at and can kind of, have been prepping while we were getting ready for our first game. They've been prepping for us. So they have a really good system. I mean, obviously, Frank Reich's leading the way as head coach. And you look at the staff; they have a really good coaching staff, good talent on their team, and yeah, I mean, all you have to do is look at the guys that we got from there. I mean, we got Bear and Tiger, and they came from there. I think they were put in a really difficult situation as a program, and I think Andrew Luck and Frank Reich are doing everything they can to make it right and make sure that they can do what they can for the outgoing seniors and get that program going. So we know we're going to get their best shot. I say it every week. We just need to make sure that we give them our best shot too, but we have a lot of respect and we know that they're in difficult situations, so we know that they're going to come ready to roll. We're looking forward to being at home again, and this time later kickoff, so kind of what we're used to, so it's going to be nice and dark by the time we take the field. It's going to be a lot of fun. I know that the fans will be ready to roll and make a lot of noise, but looking forward to the game, looking forward to the matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to the prep today and going on this week.
That's Kalani Sitake from this afternoon addressing the media ahead of the Stanford game on Saturday. We're going to hear from Siale Acera in a moment, but first, Blaine, let's get your 3 keys while we're coming off what Coach said about the Cardinal. And I talked to Tiger and Bear for a few minutes today while we were down there doing some interviews. And hey, they're excited for Saturday.
Yeah, they play their old team, especially for Tiger, where he was there for a couple of years.
And Bear was with this whole group through spring practice.
Right, like he was the guy.
So it makes it pretty cool. Jay Beer says, Vampire Cougars. That's right. They're coming out.
Do you like
Saturday?
Kalani, when he was just talking about that, he goes, and it's, we kick off at 8:15, kind of more of what we're used to. And he got a little smile on his face. Like, he knows how crazy it is to play in that place at night when it's dark, when the game starts, and how loud it gets. So, yeah, Cougars at night. Don't mess with them. It's an exciting time. So let's go to these keys. My number 1 key is win the turnover margin battle. So last week I said against Portland State, I didn't want a single turnover by the offense. I just want to see perfect execution against a team where I knew they'd be completely outmanned, right?
Yeah.
So Stanford's got better players than Portland State did. And they're going to be a little more physical, and they're going to hold the line a little better. They're going to have to throw the ball some. And so I don't necessarily say 0 turnovers. I would like to see that. They just need to win the turnover margin battle. I don't care how much of a struggle Stanford has in front of them with all the changes and new everything. You can't go -2 or -3 in turnover margin and expect to beat them.
Okay.
So that's the number 1.
Okay.
Number 2 is force Stanford to be a passing team. Stanford wants to be a balanced team, but they want to be balanced and they want to shade toward the run side. That's NFL style. That's what Frank wants to do over there with this team. They're built around this running back room. They want to be physical, and I think if BYU can say, no, you're not running the football here tonight, and they force Gil Branson, their quarterback, the Oregon State transfer, to win the game throwing the football, I think BYU is going to get multiple picks and create turnovers and create havoc, and that'll have them run away. So force Stanford to be a passing team, shut down the run. And then I have, as my 3rd key, for BYU to establish the run early and then balance the offense up by going to play action and to quick throw game. I want to see Bear throw the ball 25 times this weekend. I want to see him get that experience because there's going to be games against teams like Iowa State and Texas Tech, where he is going to have to throw the football, and Utah, where he's going to have to effectively throw the football probably in the 20s for BYU to be balanced up and keep the defense honest. I want to see him do it this week. I want him to get in the habit of that.
That takes us to the Cougar Board question of the week. If you're not familiar with Cougar Board, it's the largest online community of BYU fans. Thousands of posts every day, and it's hopping because everyone's talking about the Cougs. This one from Durandal, one of their insider subscribers. What play best demonstrated Bear's potential, and what play demonstrates something he needs to work on? We're going to dive deep into this on After Further Review tomorrow on the BYU TV app at 5 Mountain Time. But we did love the rollout to Moeaki for a touchdown. And he threw a touchdown pass to Carson Ryan, but as you pointed out in our production meeting, that ball needs to come out a little earlier. So if you're nitpicking, that's where he can get better.
Yeah, I love those two plays. And please watch AFR tomorrow night because we're going to illustrate everything that on the play to Moeaki, he came out and his first option was to hit LJ Martin on a flat route really hard on the outside. And I love how he came out and he recognized early that they were going to go double over the top of LJ, and they were taking away the deep ball on that side. So Moeaki was actually his third receiver. I was very impressed for a freshman how quickly he got off of 1 and 2. He took his head and he snapped his head to his number 3, immediately got his shoulders square, and delivered a perfect strike to him. And that play, if you take too long to do it, the window closes. And he did it before the window closed. He went 1, he went nope, yep, and got the ball out. That shows his kind of potential that he has. I was really, really impressed. That was a great play for a young guy. And to your point, the touchdown, isn't it nice to learn from a successful play?
That's the best way.
So Carson Ryan goes in short motion out, and then they come and they chase him, and so Bear knew before the snap that it was going to be man-to-man coverage, and the strong safety kind of undercut the route. So Carson runs away from him, and what he's supposed to do, they're supposed to read. He knows that Carson's going to win. He looks to see if the free safety is going to help on top of Carson, or if he's going to take the post with JoJo Phillips. Immediately he recognizes that they're doubling JoJo, and Carson's going to be one-on-one. The second, and you can see with his eyes when he recognized it, and he just patted the ball one more time, and then he threw it. And it just allowed that strong safety to get back into the play a little bit. Carson had to kind of turn around and catch it and tip it to himself and make a play. The free safety almost got there. I know that this seems picky. 1/2 of a second sooner, he hits Carson Ryan on the run. The safety's not ever a part of the play, and the strong safety that's chasing the play doesn't even get his head around. The ball whizzes right by the back of his head and by his ear, and Carson just catches it cleanly running into the end zone. I'm looking for perfection, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're looking for...
But he'll go and watch that on film and go, okay, I recognize that. Now I just need to get the ball out. Just a half a second earlier, I need to get the ball out. And that's the difference sometimes against good teams between a touchdown and a ball being broken up.
That's our Cougar Board question of the week. Siali Acera addressed the media today, and we want to take about 60 seconds or so of his initial comments, and let's listen to this outstanding linebacker.
Siali J. Catchman, KSL Sports Zone in Salt Lake City. Just wanted to ask you about your overall impressions of the performance. I know you didn't play a ton on Saturday, but your overall impressions of the performance against Portland State.
It was good. Coach Hill had some goals for our defense on game day, and we stuck to it. We stuck to the plan, and just listening to him and following the game plan that he had set out for us. Ensured our performance on Saturday, and so it was good. It was good for our defense just to get our hands wet. So I thought our performance was really good.
Were you hoping to play a little bit more than you actually did, though?
Going out there on Saturday, it was good. They kind of pulled us after second quarter and going into the second half, and so overall, I think it was good. It was good because it was good to see some of the other guys get out there and play, and do their thing. And I think that's what made it a really fun game to just see all the guys out there on that day.
Siali Acera addressing the media today. What's interesting about this team, they beat Portland State and they killed them and everyone had a good time. But there's a vibe on this team that we've noticed throughout fall camp. And that is, they're happy for everybody. So when he says, we were glad that the other guys got to go in and they got to cheer for him on the sideline, that's legit. He's being sincere there.
Yeah, and if you ever get a chance, you're down on the field, you're close, go stand next to Cialiasera. So Spencer Need, hopefully many of you there, maybe a little older, remember Spencer Need. He was an All-American tight end at BYU, 6'5", 250. He goes to play for the Rams, and they immediately move him to fullback, and he becomes the blocking back for the greatest show on turf, plowing the road for Marshall Faulk, right, with that great team, with the Rams. I took Spencer to practice with me a couple weeks ago, and we're standing on the defensive sideline, and Cialiasera comes walking over, and he goes, what position does 54 play? I said, linebacker. He goes, what? That dude is huge. And I go, next series, when he goes back out, I want you to watch him run. So Spencer just isolated on Cialiasera, and he's like, no way is a human being that big supposed to run that fast. He goes, that is crazy. He is a big human. He's 6'3", 255 pounds, and he runs like under 4.6 in the 40.
Yeah.
That's if you're a quarterback trying to like break containment and run, and he runs you down, it's not fun. And then you take Jack Kelly on the outside at 245, who runs in the 4.5s, and you take Isaiah Glasgow at 6'5", 245 on the other side doing the same thing. It's a scary thing for quarterbacks. BYU's linebacking core is as talented and as good as anyone's in the country. Period. Anybody in the country.
They're going to come after this Go Branson on Saturday night. It'll be interesting to see. A couple of recruiting notes. A couple of BYU stars on their way in. 5-star Rider Lions. 4 touchdown passes, 3 touchdown runs. We had 7 on the night for Folsom's 56-42 win over Junipero Serra. And then Brock Harris had another touchdown catch. He's got 6 through 3 games. Pineview High School down in St. George beat Maple Mountain 38-14. A lot of other Cougars doing good things. We can kind of keep an eye on these two.
Yeah.
After their missions, they'll be here with McKay Madsen and company, and who knows what we'll be talking about.
You know what Ryder likes about his team this year? They're not very good on defense. So he has to stay out there and just keep slinging it all over the place. So 56-42, another barn burner, but
he's fun to watch.
He's always got enough enough in that tank to pull it out and to throw another touchdown pass. So
our first guest tonight is a Major League Baseball All-Star with the Cubs, a former BYU baseball coach who won 397 games for the Cougars. During his own playing days, he started at shortstop for the baseball team, and he started at guard for the basketball team across the street. Don't see that very often. Our pleasure to welcome Vance Law to the Wise Guys. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Dave. And Blaine, thank you very much.
So glad to have you.
What do you think of our lair here?
This is awesome. I had no idea it was here. I used to live right down the street.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Be careful. We don't tell anybody where it actually is.
Oh, okay.
We don't want a police situation. But we thought, a few years ago, we thought, hey, let's flip a switch and talk to Cougar Nation on a live stream. And so Jack built this, and we did that, and now we're in our 4th year. And literally, if you're into the Cougars and you have Wi-Fi wherever you are in the world, you jump on here and talk with each other and talk with us and talk with BYU legends. It's just a riot.
Well, thank you. This is very fun. It'd be a great time.
So, look, you just got back from Pittsburgh. Your dad, Vern, last week inducted into the Pittsburgh Pirates Hall of Fame. The first Pirates pitcher to win the Cy Young Award and help him win the 1960 World Series. So before we ask you what it was like, we've all been blessed with great dads. To see your dad honored, I mean, dads love to see their kids do well, but when kids look up and see their dads be honored like that, is there anything more special?
I don't think so, especially since he had all of his children there, most of his grandchildren, and a lot of his great-grandchildren, and even a few great-great-grandchildren there. He's now 95, and we had over 90 of our family members there from around the country. They all flew in and were there to support and celebrate my dad's this great achievement and great honor.
What does that mean to one of his boys?
Well, I just remember I took a little bit of time and drove out to the old site of Forbes Field where all this stuff took place. Mm-hmm. All that's standing there now is the old Mazeroski wall where Mazeroski hit the home run that ended up winning the 7th game of the World Series against the Yankees. and it brought back a lot of memories. All you see is the center field wall and an outline. The bricks are still in the ground going down the left field area. Home plate is in one of the University of Pittsburgh's main hallways in one of their buildings. But I went out there and just kind of reminisced of how proud I am as a son when he was playing.
Yeah.
Walking out of the clubhouse door holding his big monstrous hand, which he still has, and and being able to just admire him and how the fans adored him and really respected him and the things that he espoused.
And it is cool. We all think, Dave and I for sure, that this is like long overdue that he be inducted in the Hall of Fame. But how cool is it that they didn't wait too long? And you mentioned he's 95. He was able to be there and be part of that. How did he react to all of this?
Well, I think he was very happy and very proud of the fact that he was being recognized. He really downplayed it. He's been a humble man his entire life and not really sought recognition. But I know that this recognition meant a lot to him. He's got a few of his former teammates who are in that same Hall of Fame that he played with in 1960, Roberto Clemente, Bill Mazeroski, just some really, really solid players. And there's actually two that are in that Hall of Fame that he played with and I played with I broke in, Manny Sanguian and Willie Stargell. And so it was really a wonderful weekend. The Pirates really took care of us. They flew the kids back, all of my dad's kids back. So my siblings and our spouses, we were all taken care of by the Pirates. They put us up in a hotel right across the street and then participated in all the festivities that they had. My dad got to throw out a first pitch to Paul Skeens, who I tell you, you were talking about a good-sized linebacker for BYU. This guy could play linebacker. I mean, he just dwarfed me. And I'm not a small man, but let me tell you, he was a good 6'5", 6'6", 250, 255, but just put together. And I was so impressed with his humility. Came up, he took his hat off, shook my dad's hand, congratulated him for this great honor, and he couldn't have been more impressive.
Let's look at the stream here. Randy from Washington City says, I was a huge Pirates fan when I was a kid because of Vern. He represented the church so well. Todd Crump says, hello, Coach Law. From one of his players in his first season, one of the greats. His dad was amazing. Loved seeing him throw batting practice to my teammates back in the day. And Lance was a bat boy for Provo High while you were there. Says, it always treated me so well. Thank you. I'll tell you what, the stream connects everybody.
It really does.
That's incredible.
It's amazing stuff. Let's talk about this amazing record that you participated in.
Yeah, so among many achievements, including playing in the longest game in American League history, started on May 8th, bled into the 9th, right, which is crazy to think of, 1984, White Sox and Brewers. The game went 25 innings. You played all 25 at third base without a single mistake. How do you go 25 innings without an error? What do you remember the most from that battle?
How in about the 17th inning, well, let me back up. I started the game off and I got a hit, so I was 1 for 1. I proceeded to go 0 for 9 after that.
The fact that you got to bat 10 times is crazy,
10
right?
times, yes. So I was 1 for 10, but I kept a hitting streak going. But I think what I remember most is the Brewers took the lead in the 17th inning, a 3-run lead. I think Ben Ogilvie hit a 3-run home run. And we came back and hit a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 17th inning. And then they called the game, suspended the game, and we picked it up again the following afternoon at 5 o'clock, and we played another 8 or 9 innings to complete that
amazing.
one. And Tom Seaver pitched the last 5 innings of that game, and then started the second game, and he ended up getting 2 wins in one day. So that's what I remember a lot. Harold Baines hit the game-winning walk-off home run in the bottom of the 25th inning, and we were so glad that it was finally over.
25 innings, the longest game in American League history.
I think it was like 8 hours and 11 minutes.
That is crazy. Isn't that amazing?
It's an awesome 2 days for a fan who doesn't have to be anywhere else. You spent 11 years in the majors and two glorious years with the Cubs, where you were named a Major League All-Star at third base in 1988. Cubs won today in a walk-off. We were just there 2 weeks ago watching them play. How magical of a place is Wrigley Field when it's rocking?
It just doesn't get any better than that. People talk about Fenway and Yankee Stadium and Dodger Stadium. I mean, there's a lot of really cool places, but there's nothing like Wrigley Field. The ivy on the walls, the atmosphere. I personally loved playing day games.
Yeah.
And when they brought the lights, I played in the first night game there at Wrigley Field in 1988. It was supposed to be 8/8/88, August the 8th, and we ended up getting rained out, so the first official game was 8/9/88.
Let me tell you something. You're getting ready for that game. I was a student at BYU. I was doing the evening news on KBYU FM, and one of the stories was lights at Wrigley Field, and then I had to announce that it was canceled because of rain. And then somebody back there was saying, clearly the Almighty is not for night games at Wrigley. While you were in the dugout wondering, are we going to get this thing in? And then you had to wait a day.
Yeah, it was disappointing because it was going to be a very memorable game. We were playing against the Phillies, and I remember, I believe it was Mike Harkey started that game, who now is a bench or a bullpen coach for the Yankees, and I think he led off. It was his first major league start, and I believe he hit the leadoff hitter right in the head, and it didn't end up counting because we got rained out, but. We got to test drive it having a night practice the night before, and there were some dark spots. There were some dark spots down the lines in the left field corner and the right field corners. They hadn't quite adjusted everything, so there was some trepidation as we started whether or not the lights were going to be great, because they didn't want to ruin the look of Wrigley Field by putting lights in the outfield.
Yeah.
Everything came from behind us on the infield, above the concourse, from the right field foul pole to the left field foul pole.
It's interesting. So aesthetics was important to them.
Very much so.
Well, they didn't want to cover up the Budweiser sign in left field. I know that was important to them.
And you, like, when I think about you played in Chicago, you played in Pitt, those are two of the great sports towns of all time. Like, to this day. Is one better than the other? As a sports town, Pittsburgh or Chicago, which is a better place?
Well, baseball-wise, Chicago. Chicago it just doesn't get much better, more exciting than playing in Wrigley Field. And when we played in Old Comiskey Park with the White Sox, and that was a classic ballpark also, a double-decker. The place, I think, where the first All-Star game where Babe Ruth hit a walk-off home run. I mean, there's a lot of history in that ballpark as well. But there really was nothing like playing in Wrigley Field. That's by far my favorite place to play.
Yeah,
so cool.
The hot dogs are great. The Pepsis are colder there. I don't know what it is. But
do you still have your hookup back there? You must, because you just went back. Dave hooked me up one time back with a Cubs game at Wrigley. And I just love the whole neighborhood, in fact.
Oh, it's sitting. People don't understand. I remember when we were thinking about putting a small professional ballpark here in Provo, and everybody's worried about parking. There is no parking in Wrigley Field. The neighbors, they sell out their front yard, and they'll put 3 or 4 parking stalls in there and park 4 cars there and make $80 a night for 81 games.
There
and
you go.
So it's
a neighborhood event.
It is a neighborhood event, exactly.
You gotta love it.
Former BYU baseball and basketball star Vance Law and the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus, Mountain America Credit Union, and Eddie. Is there another sport out there that when you sit down, no matter how plane, train, or automobile you had to go to get there, that you can feel like a 10-year-old in about 5 minutes than baseball?
I don't think so. As soon as you walk through one of those openings, the entry into the ballpark and the expanse of the infield and the outfield and the beautiful green grass it's showing, it just takes you right back. It almost takes your breath away. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
It's a powerful thing about the sport because, as my wife will say, it goes on way too long, and it has, and it's not fast enough. But I'm like, hey, when we sit down, that's the only place we want to be. It's not, hey, how fast can we get this game over
And baseball's
with?
a better game live than on television.
Without a doubt.
For sure. Like, you go, anytime I'm in a major league ballpark and I sit down and I just soak it all in. Sometimes I'm watching, if it's not a great game that I'm watching on TV, I can lose interest pretty quickly. Never if I'm at the ballpark. I just was at a Mariners game a few weeks ago and I was just like, this is
so good.
Sitting here is such a good thing.
And I would say also Wrigley Field and the new ballpark in Pittsburgh, PNC.
Right.
It reminded me, it is so beautiful. When you come through the Fort Pitt tunnels, it's almost like walking up the entryway to another ballpark, because as soon as you come through the Fort Pitt tunnels from the airport and the city opens up, and there PNC Park is, and Acrisure Stadium just over the parking lot, those two stadiums are there. And when I got called up to the big leagues, only one ballpark was there, and that was Three Rivers, where the Steelers and the Pirates played, and the lights were on, and it brought tears to my eyes because I was going to be in the major leagues.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's got to be
It's
one of
like
the
a
most
movie.
underrated views of any city. And when you come from the airport and you come out of that tunnel, I liken it to Dorothy and the Scarecrow when they come up over
That's
the rise
right.
and the Emerald City's there.
That's it.
Like, it's just all of a sudden it's like, whoa, right?
Right.
And it is breathtaking when you pull into Pittsburgh coming from the airport.
It is gorgeous.
You played shortstop at BYU, third base in the majors, but you pitched 7 times in the big leagues. And your ERA was 3.38, which is, the Cubs would take that over anything right now. Over 8 innings of work. So our question is, one, how much fun was it to be a big league pitcher? And was that blasphemous to your dad, who's watching you out there pitching when he was a Cy Young winner and you're a third baseman?
Well, I was only pitching in blowout games, let me put it that way. We're trying to save bullpen.
Sure.
We're trying to save arms for the next night. And I threw early batting practice, so I know our managers knew that I could throw strikes. And that's the reason they said, hey, you want to give it a shot? And I said, absolutely. One of the games, I actually pitched 2 innings in that game. And the first game that I pitched in was against the San Diego Padres, and I faced Kevin McReynolds, Marvell Wynn, and Tony Gwynn.
Wow.
How'd you do?
I got all
Did you
of
strike
them
out?
out.
Did you
got 'em
strike
all
out
out?
Tony?
I didn't strike him out, but I got him to hit a weak ground ball to second base.
Was
So
he the best hitter you ever had to face as a pitcher, or was there somebody else?
I would say he's the best. I did face Barry Bonds. I jammed him, and he hit a jam shot bloop
Hey,
over
you
the
and
third
Greg
baseman's
Maddux.
head.
You and Greg Maddux had his number. That's
He
awesome.
ends up having a double, but it wasn't a home run.
And your dad just kind of shook his head, going, "What?"
We joke because my lifetime ERA is slightly better than his ERA.
Nice.
But his lifetime batting average is better than mine.
What?
At least in the World Series. In the World Series, he I think he hit 333 in the World Series in 1960.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was a good all-around player.
That's back when they let pitchers hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Former BYU baseball and basketball star Vance Laws on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus, Mountain America Credit Union, and Eddie. So we don't see 2-sport athletes that often in college athletics these days. When you look back at playing and excelling in both sports, basketball and baseball, how hard was that at the time? And why does nobody really do it now?
I think it boils down to, in high school they're starting to specialize already, and they're playing so many games even in the youth leagues. Some of these travel teams, they're playing over 100 ball games, and kids don't have a chance to do every sport. I didn't have to do any of that, and so I actually thought I was a better basketball player than I was a baseball player when I was younger in high school. And I found out what true quickness was all about when we played against University of North Carolina. At the time, they had Phil Ford as their point guard, and that's who I was trying to guard. I ended up outscoring him, but I think he had about 30 assists as he passed
And they
me.
ran those four
the
corners.
four corners.
Yeah.
They ran the four corners. They didn't have to do that against us. We were tied at halftime, and they beat us by 20.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But it was, I think the difficulty was the amount of school that you miss. Because I was missing a lot during the fall playing basketball, and then spring came around, I was going to miss a lot of school there. But the professors at BYU really worked with me. I had one teacher in physiology who actually let me come to his office and I had to go on a road trip, and he would give me the entire lecture right there in his office.
Wow.
It was amazing. And so I appreciated the fact that they helped me succeed. The other big advantage I had is during basketball season, I would sneak down to the Smith Field House, drop the nets, and I had a Cy Young Award-winning pitcher that would throw me batting practice
Wow.
and keep
That's
me
true.
sharp, so I wasn't too far behind offensively when we got going. In
How
the
cool
spring.
is that, though, to do both? I mean,
It was
let's
really
live
fun.
in the dream.
It was really fun. It was tough to give up basketball because at that time we were filling 23,000
Yeah.
fans, and there wasn't much else to do in town but come to BYU basketball games. And and we had the kind of the high school field at BYU when I played baseball, and 1,500 fans max, and it was I guess an ego thing if you wanted to stay playing basketball, but I saw where my future could lie, and I really loved playing for Coach Tuckett. He was a tremendous coach, and my dad was there as well.
That's fun stuff. We love Glenn.
Here's a final Cubs question. This is from Sylvia in Wisconsin. Vance, did you run and slide on the tarp on 8/8/88?
I think that was Greg Maddox that did that, and he got fined for doing it.
So you stayed off and let the kids out there do the slipping and slides?
He was about 23. He and a couple of his guys that he came up with, Jeff Pico and Les Lancaster, I think they all took their spikes off and sprinted across the tarp and slid. And they didn't encourage that, not only because of injury, but it encouraged those who had been drinking a little bit too much to jump the fence and come and do it.
Oh, yeah.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That
That's
was
true.
true entertainment, though, let me tell you.
There you go, Sylvia. You've got the answer.
So we're wondering, since you played both sports at BYU, now we can use you as an analyst for both football and basketball. Let's start with basketball. Both programs in the Big 12 now. Let's size up this basketball program. We'll start with Kevin Young. What do you think? What do you like about what they're doing?
I wish I played in that kind of a system. I wish I played with a three-point line, first of all, because I was back then.
You and
it was-
Danny Ainge.
Yeah, Danny always tells us if they had 3-point line, nobody would have ever caught my scoring record. Forget Jimmer for that, right?
That's right. I love the fact that they move the ball, and there is no selfishness on that team. And that starts at the top. The coach doesn't care who scores. This is what we're all about. And, if you got an open shot, put it in the hole. And I love watching the Cougars play basketball. It's really eye-opening, the athleticism that is there. I love to see guys being able to jump and run and get the ball out and go down and shoot a shot. It might be 2-on-3, and we'll still take that 3.
Yep.
If we're open, we're going to put it up.
It's an interesting, CBS came out the other day, ranked him number 2 as we sit here for basketball. A lot of seedings. Bracketology has him as a 2 or a 3 seed. This is new, uncharted water. Back when you guys were running and were good, dreamed of these opportunities where to start the season, you always had to earn it, right?
Yeah.
And battle through the WAC and be good enough to get a decent seed. Can you imagine starting ranked in the top 5 like they will be?
I honestly can't. The athletes that they have recruited and brought here to BYU, I wouldn't have made that team. I know that, especially now that I'm 67. But
You're not supposed to tell anybody that.
But seriously, I just love the way that they have put this team together, and I know the times are different with the NIL money, and I'm not quite sure how to analyze that. That's a tough situation.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful that the university and the coaching staff is able to have the kind of resources to be able to compete with other teams. It's easy to just drop the ball and say, we're not doing that.
Right. As for baseball, your son Adam, assistant coach with head coach Trent Pratt, been on the road with him now for a bit. Fun to be around. Just hired a new pitching coach, which is an area of needed focus. What are you seeing for baseball? And softball made a lot of room this last year, but it seemed like baseball and softball were going to take the longest to get up to speed in the Big 12 just because of the numbers.
It's a really tough league. It's tough to compete with pitching that is not at the same level as some of the other teams in the Big 12. And I know that's one of the emphasis on the baseball team right now is to get the best pitchers that they possibly can. And it's the depth that counts. I mean, we've got some guys that can throw hard and are good starters, but the depth in the bullpen is something that they're trying to improve every year. When we go and we face, I think it was Kansas State, I couldn't believe every guy they brought in is throwing 97 to 99.
And they're 6'5".
And they're just huge athletic guys. And I know that Coach Pratt and Adam and all the coaches are out there recruiting, trying to find the best athletes that we can get here to come here and be competitive. And I want I hope that our baseball fans recognize that pitching at altitude, playing at altitude, and some people say, oh, you're just making excuses. It's the truth. Yeah. Ball flies here. There's a lot of pitchers that would rather pitch at sea level. They'd rather pitch in ballparks where the ball doesn't fly. And so it's a difficult place to recruit to.
The eliminating Arizona State from the Big 12 tournament just kind of opened a window of what they could be. And that's how they wrapped up. They lost to Arizona, went on to win the tournament, and then go on to the NCAAs. But that Arizona State win seemed to be like, hey, this is possible.
It is. They were so encouraged after they beat Arizona State in the tournament or to qualify for the tournament. I thought that was such a big win for them, and very proud of those young men who just continued to battle and compete. It really doesn't. To me, that's what coaching is really all about, is helping these young men want to compete and know that they can compete at this level.
Yeah.
And when you go and win something like that to and have kind of that uptick at the end of the season, that's got to help recruiting, right?
I definitely believe that. And there's guys, the challenge is the NIL money again. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of glad that I'm not coaching at this point because you got to re-recruit your own guys. You're not just recruiting a new class. You're trying to keep the best players that you have. And so far they've done a good job. They've been able to keep their players, pretty much most of their players, they've been able to do that. I thought Vest being able to keep Vest last year, who really kind of anchored that offense and defense. Let me tell you, that guy can play first base.
Boy, yeah, Golden Glove over there.
Yeah.
A 1998 inductee into the Utah Sports Hall of Fame, Vance Laws on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus, Mountain America Credit Union, and Eddie Diljeet Taylor of the #1 ranked BYU women's cross country team is going to join us in just a couple of moments. You and your wife Sharon, 3 sons, all suited up for the Cougars: Tim, Andrew, and Adam, and you. So there's the 4. And so we were thinking, we wanted to ask you in what ways does this game teach about life? And this game has been your whole life with your family.
Well, I've been blessed to be in baseball either as a coach or a player for 40 plus years. And to me, the game, I hope I don't get emotional, but this game means so much to me and to my family. It teaches discipline. It teaches sacrifice. It teaches hard work. All 3 of my sons were not recruited heavily out of high school, but all 3 of them became very, very good players. Yeah. 2 of them, Andrew and Adam, became captains. Andrew was supposed to get drafted by the Phillies, and then he tore his hamstring, and he was not able to continue to play. Adam was not recruited except by BYU out of high school, and he became an all-conference player, and then drafted by the Los Angeles Dodgers and got all the way to AAA. And that only happens through discipline, through hard work, and sacrificing other things to become the best that you can be. That's what I think baseball is really. That's what means so much to me, and I'm so proud of our children. I was all of our children, even our and especially our daughters too, who are really outstanding young people also. But I think when Adam had the opportunity to play professionally, it solidified the fact that I didn't just recruit them because they were my kids, that they were really good players, good people, good students. Isn't that what BYU is all about?
Yeah.
And that's the reason that they were recruited. It wasn't nepotism. I knew that I could get them there and I could help them become better.
Well, they're waiting for your grandsons because they need more laws.
Yeah,
We put
they
laws
do.
anywhere on the field. Right now, you got one holding down first base as the first base coach.
That's right.
And a lot of fun to be around. Blaine, I think he's ready for 5 questions.
Yeah, 5 questions for Vance Law. And you just whatever comes top of your head.
Okay.
Quickly, you just answer these.
This is everything we've talked about is the pregame show.
Yeah,
for
this
the
is
front
it.
of man.
This is how people really get to know you.
And 5 questions is presented by StrategySquare.co.
Okay, we'll start with number 1. What's your favorite sports movie?
The Rookie.
The Rookie.
That was a good one.
That is a good one. I thought you were going to give me Field of Dreams.
Yeah, that's second.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So, okay, your favorite singer or band, like performing artist?
Fleetwood Mac.
That's
no
old
hesitation.
school. That was quick.
No hesitation on that.
That is good old school stuff. Okay, this is maybe the most difficult one. Your favorite breakfast cereal?
Fruit Loops.
Is he our first Fruit Loops?
You're climbing right to the top of the list.
But I'm just telling you, like
guests.
everything you've said so far, I have my stamp of approval on all
The
of this.
Rookie, Fleetwood Mac, and Fruit Loops.
It's like you can't beat this right now. Fruit Loops. By the way, I had some Cinnamon Life right before I came over, and I just had a little bit of a sweet tooth. So then, right on top of it, I added some Frosted Flakes. So
That's good.
the pregame meal of champions. So,
All right, here's a good one.
yeah. Favorite advice from your dad, from Vern Law?
Gosh, there's. I would say, don't do anything that you will regret, that will damage your reputation. Know who you are.
Know who you are. Very good. We're actually going to do a 5A and 5B, right? So let's start with 5A. What's your favorite BYU moment?
Boy, there's so many. I'll never forget the comeback. I was young, but I'll never forget the comeback in the Holiday Bowl when McMahon threw the touchdown.
1980 Holiday Bowl.
1980 Holiday Bowl.
Jim DeClay.
I could not believe we were down like 21 or 24 points or something with like 2 minutes, and I was not happy with the way things were going. And then next thing you know, we're just catching up. It was amazing.
That's the reason I came to BYU.
Yeah.
I was actually leaning to either Pittsburgh or Penn State. My dad and I were watching that game. I was a senior in high school, and they came back, and I go, I have to go there. So
That's one of the top ones. I also remember the game beating Utah up there. Gosh, I can't remember the receiver that it was. I believe it was an overtime game, and
with Johnny Harleen.
Johnny
Back
Harleen.
to Harleen.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that. I will say, in baseball, we were down 9-1 against Utah in the top of the 9th, and we got, with 2 outs, we got 9 straight singles.
What?
Yes, look it up. We got 9.
Look it up.
9 straight singles, and we ended up beating them 10-9 with 2 outs in the 9th inning.
How are we have not been talking about that?
That's got to be.
I stood on the second step of the dugout at Smith Ballpark. I'd never moved. I didn't shake anyone's hand. I just said, nice hit. Or
You just didn't want to mess up anything.
That's head coaching right there.
That's it.
That's not superstitious, just a little stitious.
That's right.
Like you didn't move at all.
No.
I did not. How did I not ever heard of that?
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure we were watching. I don't know. I remember.
That is
was
great. We have
incredible.
to
9
find out what that
straight
one was.
singles.
9 straight singles.
So here's the bonus question, because maybe the biggest Cubs fan of all time is
Just one
right
of them.
over there.
Just one of them.
But what's your favorite Cubs moment from your time there?
the phone call I got saying that I made the All-Star team, I know that's selfish. I should say that we won the '89 division. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But
who called you?
Don Zimmer.
Zimmer did?
Don Zimmer.
He called me and said, you've made the All-Star team, and wanted to be the first one to congratulate you. So that was a unbelievable moment, because I had been told pretty much from the scouts with the Pirates that I was going to be a backup player on a second division team, and here I am going to
Playing
the All-Star game. Yeah.
That's a moment you knew that you proved them all wrong.
Yeah.
So you walk out on that field of that All-Star game as an All-Star. You look around at the other All-Stars. What is that feeling like?
It's like, it's just a feeling that you have accomplished something that no one expected, and you are one of the 50 best players in the entire world at that moment.
That's cool.
It was really a special moment. Whitey Herzog was the manager, and he's the one. I wasn't voted by the fans. I was an extra player, but he told me in the clubhouse, he said, "I've chosen you because you deserve it. I was passed over, and I deserved it. And I told myself, if I ever manage, I'm not going to pass over somebody who deserves it." And they passed over Mike Schmidt, he was the perennial third baseman in the All-Star game, and it was his last year, and a lot of people pressured Whitey to take him. He said, I'm going to take the guy who's having a better year, and that's you, Vance.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Good for Whitey.
You're just talking about Don Zimmer and Whitey Herzog. What legends. How cool is that to be around those guys?
I have been so blessed to be able to play with some of the best players that have ever played the game, to shake the hands of some of the best players, to play under a couple of the best managers that ever managed, with Tony La Russa and Don Zimmer. Those guys really know baseball, and they taught me a lot. And to play under Coach Tuckett. Coach Tuckett taught me so much in order for me to have success.
And a guy that's not even a pitcher got Barry Bonds.
Jam Barry
Bonds, and got him out.
He got Tony Gwynn
and Tony
out.
Gwynn got him to hit a weak ground ball and get him out. That's something.
That's good. Well, congrats to your family, to your dad, and of course we'll see you at the ballpark before you know it.
Can't wait. It'll be fun. I think it's going to be a great season. I think these guys are starting to believe that they can compete with other teams in the Big 12.
Good deal.
It's good stuff.
Great Vance Law and the Wise Guys. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Vance.
Thanks for the invitation. This is awesome.
We look forward to having you back, and hopefully the Cubs can get the series, or just get to the playoffs
At this point, yep.
Thank you, Vance, for being here.
Thank you.
That's Vance Law, basketball player, baseball player at BYU, Major League Baseball player, also played in Japan, Major League All-Star, and boy, what a great BYU guy.
Oh, my goodness.
That's just awesome.
And by the way, Vance, I was bragging to everybody before you came what a great long ball hitter you are in base and golf. I was like, nobody hits the golf ball better than Vance, right? So,
hey, our Relight Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at Redmond.com. Tonight, the Wise Guy is proud to honor senior kicker Will Ferrin. 56-yard field goal Saturday night into the wind extended his program record to 18 consecutive makes. We were nervous when Kalani set him in because the game was already decided. The streak was the only thing up in the air, literally, and he nailed it.
Yeah, that's just what he does. That's what we call him Big Game Bill, right? So he finished last season with a program record of 16 straight field goals. So he's added 2 field goals this Saturday, boosted to 18. He also hit 9 extra points in a game Saturday. That's crazy to think of, right? So 9 extra points. Last year he went 41 of 41 on extra points. So he's now hit 18 straight field goal attempts and 50 straight extra points for the Cougs.
That's tough to do. Just think of 50 of everything's got to be right, and you've got to nail it through the post. Here's what he said after the game. He said, quote, "I think it's funny. Every time there's a big kick, everyone's like, what happened here? And I'm like, it's always the same process for me. If it's one of the PATs or a game winner or a long kick, I go through the same process. I approach it the same way. I even hit the ball the same way. And if I hit it pure and straight every time, then good things happen."
Which he pretty much does, hit it pure and straight every time. So, maybe his greatest moment, at least in most fans' opinion, is when he hit that 44-yard game winner at Rice-Eccles Stadium. You can see his interview with us here on wiseguys.com. The fun thing is we had he and Sam Vanderhaar, the holder and punter, along with their wives, their spouses on the show. And it was so fun to hear what was going through the spouses' minds, to their wives' minds, right before that kick. And I'll just give you a little hint. The most nervous one of the four of them was Sam's wife, because she was afraid he was going to muff the hold and they weren't going to get the kick off.
And then it was off. What a night that was. So you can see that interview at wiseguys.com. Will Ferrin is our Relight Athlete of the Week, presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com. Our next guest arrived at BYU in 2016, and she's been nothing short of phenomenal for the women's track and field and cross country group. The accolades include two-time National Coach of the Year, back-to-back Big 12 Coach of the Year, back-to-back Big 12 champions, two-time national champion, notably the reigning national champion. Her team this year is ranked number 1 in the preseason national polls. It's our pleasure to welcome back to Wise Guys women's cross-country head coach and the Associate Director of Track and Field and the newly appointed Senior Associate Athletic Director, Diljeet Taylor. I feel like Michael Buffer announcing a champion before a boxing match.
Too many titles for one
It's
woman.
like, wait a minute, do you have 3 titles now? Like, what is going on?
I know. Just focus on the first one.
Welcome back, and congratulations on all that stuff. How does it feel?
Well, we just started day 1 of practice here in Provo after coming off of a week of camp. So I feel like I've refreshed and am focused on this next part of the season, which is a building phase. So all the accolades, all the stuff that we've done in the past, the rankings. I'm not a coach that gets pumped up about rankings. I try to stay pretty just even keel right now. We want to be really tired in September. And yeah, I feel good. I'm really proud. Look, it's Labor Day today, so I was cleaning out some of the stuff. We have a dumpster outside our house right now, just kind of getting rid of junk. And I came across a notebook that I brought to my interview at BYU.
Oh, yeah?
Right, so it's 10 years ago. And it had a 1-year plan, a 3 to 5 year plan, and beyond. And I almost got emotional reading what the hope was when I came here 10 years ago. And it was to inspire and empower women. It was to create a sisterhood. It was to set a really good team culture in year 1, build on it in year 2, and win year 3 to 5. And we've done that. And I've created incredible women through that. So I'm super proud of what we've built here.
So this was a great day of cleaning out the house.
It was a great day. It's Labor Day.
Which is
you have to labor on Labor Day.
I don't know that I've ever said that. It was a great day of cleaning the house. In that 10-year plan, was there any mention of, hey, let's win or compete for a national championship at any point? Did you reach that far in that plan?
I've defined winning in different ways, right? If we exceed our expectations or match our potential on the biggest stage and women run their hearts out for each other, with each other, and because of each other, that's winning. And so for us, we had the talent to do it at the highest level and win 2 national championships. That's great. But if we would have fell short, and we have in the past, and women have shown up for each other, I still consider that winning. We've been nationally relevant for, a decade now,
Right.
and that's been fun.
How do you manage the success? Because there's a lot of coaches that would love to have had that notebook and everything that's happened to you over this decade. But how do you manage the success so it doesn't get in the way of what's next?
Just be where my feet are and stay present. Every year, it's a new group of women. My women, even returners, aren't the same women as who they were last year. And really focusing on the process, not getting wrapped up in the outcomes, which is super hard to do as a coach because we do care about the outcome, but really staying present in the process and reminding myself constantly that my purpose is to help great runners become great women and help great women become great runners. And if I'm doing that every single day, we're going to put together a good performance when it matters the most.
So the preseason polls are out. We've already mentioned this. Number 1, the men's side are number 4 in cross country. It's almost like this is just what we expect to have happen now. The bar is so high. We were talking about this. We can't remember a better time to be a runner at BYU, whether it's cross country or track and field. And I was here with Ed when they were really good, and with guys like Doug Padilla and Henry Marsh, world champions. Like, it seems like this time has eclipsed that time. is the best time ever to be a runner at BYU. What message are you and Ed and your staffs selling out there that are getting these tremendous athletes to come and then to buy into all that you've already talked about and become part of this culture?
I would say it's the best time to be a coach at BYU. Look what is happening in our athletic department all across the board. And that, for us to coach when you're really happy with what you get to do every single day, and it's a joy to show up for these women, the women feel that, and then they want to show up for each other and for you. And people are starting to notice the energy. That's what's attractive about BYU, is the confidence the women are exuding at all times. Win, lose, or draw, the women are walking with confidence, a great amount of confidence. And it's contagious. People want to be a part of a culture, especially now with the NIL landscape and where the NCAA is going. This is transformational. We have kept it transformational, and our alum are doing the best recruiting for us. Lexi Halliday winning the U.S. championships. We have a pro team here now that's training. You're amongst greatness. And when you start surrounding yourself with greatness, you start believing that you also can get there. And that's the women. The women have sold the program. The men, the young men we've had, they've sold the program. Ed and I, we're kind of riding this out. And obviously there's some X's and O's that are important. It's really important, but it's the athletes. They're the magic. They're the magic. We can't take credit for it. As much as I would want to, I'm super indebted to these women that come in, they buy into this program, they believe, they show up even when things are not going well. That's the real buy-in. Everyone can buy in when you're winning. You'll get your entire team to be bought in. But what about when things aren't going well and practice isn't going well, or you have a bad race, and the women still show up believing in you and in your craft? And so I just keep showing up for those women.
Well, it's our job to make sure that everyone knows that the way you're doing your job and Ed doing his job has been fantastic. Women's cross country coach Diljeet Taylor is on the Wise Guys, presented by Brady Plus Eddie and Mountain America Credit Union. After winning the national title, you signed Jane Hedegren, nation's top distance runner from just down the road from us at Timpview High School. When you watch her run, what do you see?
What she accomplished in her senior year was once in a lifetime, right? That's a generational talent. And so I say it's a generational talent.
Yeah.
Get that? Okay.
Nice.
I just made that up right now.
I love it.
Pretty
I
witty.
love it.
Yeah, she's special. And so I am going to be very intentional about doing things the right way with her. And that might look a little different than if she went somewhere else. We really want her to have a great senior year in college and a great pro career. And so we're going to build those blocks a little slower and make sure that the longevity is there.
How do you integrate someone like she is a generational talent? Ed, we were talking to Ed, and other coaches have come in and said, hey, like our golf coach says, we just got the AJ DeBansa of college golf, of high school golf. Like, he's the best. He just won the Utah Open. Yeah, he's the youngest player to win that professional tournament ever. And he's here at BYU. And Ed's like, AJ is the Jane of basketball.
Yeah,
like he's like, she's that good.
Yeah, no, she is.
She's that good.
And so the pressure to really do this the right way, to not get greedy, to make sure that we're taking care of all the basics and the fundamentals so that she can do the very best for a long time.
And how do you integrate her into this team? Because you are defending national champs. You've won 2 national championships. So how does somebody that talented come in, and how do you integrate them into a group that's already wildly talented and has had great success?
Yeah, we're just going to have to find a place for her, and she's going to have to figure out what that looks like and feels like. And it's going to be very different than being on a high school team. And it's going to be different from our women as well. And I want to be sensitive about making sure that we do the very best we can for Jane while doing the very best we can for the team. And this morning we had a pretty hard workout, our first one, and the women were phenomenal. Jane kind of had a little separation, and she said, I just haven't really ran with a team like this before. And you know what my women said? They said, and this is a test, they said, you doing your very best helps us do our very best. Don't worry about where we're at. How phenomenal is that with a group of women that are, you go do you, that's going to help our team. We're right here with you. Rather than having some envy or frustration that you have this freshman coming in, that's real on a team. But they have embraced it. celebrated it, and I attribute that to the culture and the leaders on our team right now.
Is it a fun challenge for a coach to have? It's just a little bit different than what the last few years have been of managing all of it and her as a freshman.
Yeah, I'm grateful that I have 2 decades of coaching under my belt.
Right, yeah.
You know, but I'm gonna keep a promise to myself and to her that I made. We're gonna do this the right way. And so, yeah, it's a challenge. I think I'm gonna grow a lot as a coach over these next 4 or 5 years, and hopefully beyond that, if she stays and runs as a professional with Nike here. But I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get better as a coach, and I'm gonna learn a lot because I haven't had an athlete quite like her in my history of coaching.
Let's talk about the returners that she joins, right, a little bit. So I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anybody. So Riley Chamberlain, Carly Hansen, Taylor Lovell, Nayla Roberts, Taylor Ratinsky, they're all back from this team you sent to Wisconsin to go get a national championship.
So,
how do you feel about that?
Yeah, Carly has graduated. She just has outdoor track left. So
I was thinking she could be back on this one.
Yeah, no, but we also brought in Zariel Makia from New York. And
go New York.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from.
I know. I actually, in my very first year of coaching at Cal State Stanislaus, coached her aunt and uncle. How crazy is that? Yeah, she's not a member of the church, and she was doing a road trip years ago when I first started at BYU. Tiny little, maybe 7th grader at that point, 6th grader, and she just came and checked out the track, and and now she's here. She's mine, which is really kind of a cool story. But yeah, the returners, they've done some incredible things, not just in cross country last year, but how they backed it with a really successful track season and add Jenna Hutchins to that. She's a little banged up right now, so we'll bring her in October. We have a good, strong returning class, and they don't feel this pressure. There isn't this expectation. Sometimes when you win a national championship, you have that target on your back or you're ranked number 1. My women are just focused on, let's just be where our feet are and get better.
Jess has a question from the stream on a sport on NIL, which affects all the sports. But as you have an upper class group of national champions, and then Jane, how is NIL? Is that a headache to manage with your roster? How's that working?
I think love is more powerful than NIL, and that's my secret. I'm just gonna love these women, and it's going to speak more volumes than money will. We're cross country and track. We're not out here trying to, get football contracts or basketball. And that's okay. But we have donors, and we've got good investment in our women through athletics. So we're going to be well taken care of, but it's not about money. It's about love.
All right, there you go, Jess. Diljeet Taylor's cross country teams at BYU have 7 top 10 finishes, including 2 national titles. Coach on the Wise Guys here with us tonight. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and wiseguys.com. Season begins Friday at the Autumn Classic in Orem. How does that work? How many runners can you send to that, and how do you choose from such a roster?
So I'm gonna hold off my freshmen. We're just gonna have 7 returners get in uniform, and we call it a tempo. So it's a little slower than race pace, but just getting a good effort in. It's so early, you guys, and we will open up our real season at the end of September in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
Okay.
But for now, I will not put any freshmen in uniform as much as I want to. We'll just hold off on that, and just 7 returners will go and run together. It'll be a race effort, but they'll be grouped up together.
You know what that is? That's discipline for a coach.
I know.
Because I'm sure there's a Maserati in the garage and you want to drive it.
Well, you want to make sure that you can drive it in November.
Right. There's something about building, right? Because this isn't about dominating right now, even though you're number 1. It's about peaking at the right time. Is that right?
Well, and I said it this morning. Like, we do not want to be flashy. We do not want to be flashy in September. We want to be tired. We want to be tired, and I've got a lot of pieces. I have a lot of pieces, and not just 7. But someone's going to rise up. Someone's going to, have a major jump, and I'm excited for it. I just want to build and make sure that they're building championship habits. So we don't need championship-style racing right now. We just need championship-style habits.
Is there anybody, we mentioned a bunch of returners, any young up-and-comer or somebody? Henry Marsh was here on the show with us, and he was telling us about how he had to walk on because he wasn't good. Then he went on a mission, he came back, and he was still okay. And then all of a sudden it was like, woof, woof. And they were like, oh my gosh, this guy. Then he had to remind himself when he would toe the line at World Championships, you're the baddest man in the world at this event. I mean, that's how far he came. Do you have somebody that's a young up-and-comer that you're going, watch this one, everybody?
Well, Neela Roberts had a great showing for us last year, being in our top 7. But one that I think of is Taylor Lovell from Arizona. She's been in the program a couple years, was kind of a walk-on type, can I get a spot, has made it to the NCAA championship in the steeplechase, has been mentored by the Lexi Halliday, so has a really good mindset, is showing some leadership, and I feel like this is going to be a big jump for her this year.
I love that.
All right, we'll watch Taylor.
And Rojo and Riley, they two came in as freshmen. So Rotinsky, which is a household
Rojo,
name
right?
here, right, at BYU. We've had a lot of successful Rotinskys. So Rojo and Riley came in as freshmen, and they haven't quite clicked together in the same season. I think it's going to happen this fall.
Which
so that's really
special.
fun.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fun.
Harvey Scott of Redmond, which makes Relight, recently joined Wise Guys as a segment sponsor, so we've been hanging out with him, and I know that he was over in Portland with cheering on the players at the championships. And we were talking about Relight, and he's among your biggest fans. What does Relight do? But if I drink Relight as a runner, what does that do for me?
Oh, you're going to be able to run forever and ever and faster than you've ever done. Okay, everybody gets some Relight.
I've been drinking
Everybody
it.
gets
I've
some
been drinking
Relight.
it, and that didn't happen.
Okay, I'm really picky
that feels
about my
like
product.
an endorsement.
No, but I do.
I am
do
so
drink
picky
it all the
about
time.
my product, and I love the Relight Immunity. So there's several different variations. There's a Relight Energy, which has got some caffeine.
Yeah.
People our age probably need to be drinking that one, right? Just to get a little pep in our step. But our women mostly use the regular Relight, all the great flavors, and then the immunity, which I think is so important, especially women are coming back to college. They haven't been around all these germs and in class, and immunity, Relight Immunity keeps us healthy. I'm a big believer in that, especially in October and November.
So there's energy, there's immunity. I've been drinking the regular just to stay better hydrated, and I have noticed a difference. You'd be proud of me, Diljeet. So Gavin, my son that coaches the safeties on the football team, since he's been a coach for 7 years, he has this tradition that the day before the home opener, we have to touch every step in the entire stadium. We have to run every step.
That's a good
like
tradition.
even when you go up to the top, there's a couple places where there's 2. We have to go over there and touch those 2 so that helps us win, right? And you know, he's 7 years into coaching. Like, I'm 7 years older. I don't tell people how old I am. Let's just say I'm old. I swear that it helped me. The Relight helped me to make it this year.
Yeah, just being, those electrolytes are so important. You know, we always say drink water, but you've got to get those electrolytes. And they've just perfected the taste with the electrolytes and the salt content. It's a great product. And I'm not someone that endorses for any reason. I just won't. And this is a brand that I love. And more importantly, they're people who are great people. You know, Harvey, yes. Ken, just all of them. Mike, those guys are Rhett, who's the owner. I mean, they're great people, and they're investing in my women.
Yeah, they are.
Right?
Yeah.
They're helping us with product, but they're also investing in their dreams. And so when you can find someone that is aligned in similar values like their company is with kind of how I run my program, you want to make sure that it's a successful partnership.
We're totally going to raise our price on them after
Yes,
that.
we are.
endorsement.
So
that was the best 60 seconds
but
we've
honestly,
ever had.
ever since I met Harvey, I've been using it. Which is like, I don't usually just use, but I've been using it. It's been
Yeah,
good,
my whole family's on it. We love it.
Jet's got a question on the stream, and our streamers are from all over the world here tonight. What track running events does Coach Taylor see that Jane will focus on as you bring in
track and field? Yeah,
as you bring or cross country as you bring her into the scene?
I asked her last week, hey, Jane, have you ever thought about the steeplechase? She's like, oh, I'll try anything you think I would be good at. I was like, well, you're not doing the steeple.
You thought about it? Stop thinking about it.
Not doing it. In indoor, we'll focus on, I'm sure she'll anchor our DMR or run a leg of the DMR just to get us qualified. And then the 3K, 5K double. I see her as someone that in indoor can tackle that really well. And outdoor, we'll dance around with the 1500. And definitely, she ran a great 5K. That would have been an All-American already this year with that time. So we will definitely run some fast 5Ks.
Okay, there you go. There you go, Jet. Keep an eye on that.
So I've been dying to ask you this. Kalani's my neighbor, and we talk all the time, but I haven't asked him this yet. But the two of you now are senior associate athletic directors at BYU. What does that mean? What does that entail? Because I know you have to do some extra stuff in addition to what you're already doing.
So when Brian Santiago was named AD, which
Yeah.
was super happy about that. I'll show you my jacket after. This is a Tom tribute. So there's Tom Homo all on the back of this, this sweater. But loved Tom, loved the direction of leadership that Brian is taking our athletic department and every program. So Kalani and I had an opportunity to step in and really help with the vision, strategy. One team is the focus, just creating this level of unity where, when one wins, we all win. And trying to get everyone bought into the vision of where BYU athletics is going. Kalani, obviously through football, that's our most visibility. Well, basketball too.
They're both big.
Yes, they're huge. So he's bringing that aspect of it. And then for me, more of the belonging aspect. And I think I've done a good job the last 10 years also bringing visibility to BYU from a different lens.
Sure.
I'm not a member of the church,
right,
but I'm a non-member member, okay? I feel like I'm an ambassador for this place, and I want to help create bigger arms for our student athletes that come to BYU and make sure that their experience, regardless of their entry, that their exit from BYU is one that they are proud of.
I don't know if you got to see Diljeet. If you didn't, go Google it or whatever we do these days. Do we Google or do we chat GPT? I don't know what we do. So did you see Bear Bachmeier, the freshman starting quarterback's interview, where he said, where he talked about why he came? He's like, because my faith.
Yeah.
Like, we're Catholic. We go to church every Sunday, and this just was the best fit. Culturally and from a faith perspective, this is why Tiger and I came here. What did you think of that?
I loved it. And the more stories, just even Yegor.
Yes.
When Yegor left, his exit interview was about how his relationship with God and his faith has grown here. And I believe that. That's happened for me. And because that's happened for me, it's then happening for my women as well. And so, yes, it's a great place culturally. It is faith-based. There is no doubt about that. There are standards, there are expectations, there's an honor code. We have to be aligned with this place. But there is something spiritually special about this place that allows you to grow and reach places that you may not have done. One of my biggest fears, if I ever was to leave BYU, is I know that little extra touch that I have here probably wouldn't be as easily accessible.
Well, you maximize the moment. These have been great 10 years. Kalani's in his 10th season. You're in your 10th season. That's quite a decade. And now the two of you are running the athletic department. So you got that going for you, which is nice.
I don't know about running the athletic department.
Don't let Brian fool you. He's not running it. You and Kalani are now running it.
No.
Listen, we've got 5 questions for you, presented by StrategySquare.co. We've asked you our general top 5 the last time you were here, and we so love that you've come back. Tonight, we wanted the top 5 foods every runner should have in their diet so that folks can listen to this and go, I can change that in my life and be better if I want to do more running. Does that make sense?
Yep, love it. Top 5.
Okay.
Number 1, protein smoothies. Doesn't matter how you mix them or what you add to them, but make sure you've got a liquid protein that you're consuming every day.
Protein smoothies.
Yep, protein smoothies.
Do you have a like how many? I don't know if you can't think of it off the top of your head, that's fine. But how many grams of protein per kilo of body weight do you think?
It's so variable, and it's different for men than I think it is for women. And even for women, some women will go a little bit more because they can handle it, and some can't. And so it's just one size doesn't fit all. But love the 20 to 30 grams right after a workout, protein smoothie.
Immediately, 20 to 30
Immediately,
grams.
yep. Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2, I would say, I'm going to say Redmond. I have to say the Relight, okay? Just, it's not a food, but add it to water and make sure that that's in your daily hydration.
And you already said for really, really old people, and you pointed right at me.
Well, I said the 3 of us.
No,
okay,
I'm the old guy here.
It doesn't. Once you get past a certain age, we're all in the same.
But you told me I need the one with caffeine, so I'm going to do that.
Try it.
Yeah, because I'm doing the plain.
You'll be talking really fast.
Strawberry's my favorite.
Okay, I like mango.
I already talk fast. You know that about me.
I know. Bananas are a great staple. You'll see them at every road race. Anytime we go grocery shopping, we're always bringing bananas. Love blueberries. That's a good one. And chicken. Okay, but you can add so much more to that. Fruits and vegetables, throw that in there also. I put that in my green smoothie. So
are we talking about what we're still putting in a smoothie?
No. This is just, you can put your Relight in a smoothie.
You can put the blueberries and the bananas in a smoothie.
But you can. But I like just, those are good with some yogurt, banana, blueberries, a little bit of honey.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I just didn't know if number 2 had bled into number 3.
So I was golfing this morning with my daughter and my son-in-law and my son. My son was talking to their nutritionist, and he told him, you need more potassium. And he goes, okay, so I just eat bananas. And he goes, yeah, that's an interesting thing. He goes, bananas have done the greatest marketing job in history.
It's fake news.
He says, oranges actually have more potassium than bananas. That was shocking to me.
Yes, but bananas are better on a runner's stomach.
Just easier to
than
handle.
oranges, because the
citric
acidity,
acid,
that would not be good.
Isn't that interesting? I'm like,
Yes.
I never thought of an orange for potassium. What in the world?
All right, number 3.
Okay. Oh, I already.
Oh,
Well,
she
what's this, everybody?
said
Okay, but
protein
we can say
smoothies.
yogurt.
Redmond,
Get some Greek yogurt in there.
bananas, blueberries, chicken, and Greek yogurt. We're going to add a
Yeah,
six.
add Greek
I
yogurt,
wasn't
'cause
sure if
that's good.
Okay, so blueberry stands alone. And
If I
chicken
do
stands
this,
alone.
can this fat guy get skinnier? Can I
Well,
get? I don't want to get skinnier. I want to get leaner.
You want to get fit.
I want to be
Fit and healthy.
Fit. Nobody wants a skinny fat guy.
Smoothies, Redmond Relight, bananas, blueberries, chicken,
And Greek yogurt.
and Greek yogurt.
It's
That's
so
not
basic.
going to happen
It's
for
so
me,
basic.
Greek
I know.
yogurt.
Do you like any of the things on that list?
I like everything.
The Greek yogurt, I just stopped at the 5 for me. I was like, okay, I'll go
No,
with
because
the
I'm gonna
5.
have to substitute the Greek yogurt because I am allergic to bananas.
I don't even know
That's
what
why
I
the
do
orange
with
thing
Greek
was
yogurt.
I think my dad and I and my sister are the only people in the world allergic to bananas, so I have to have a different source of potassium.
Okay, was it in your era that pickle juice for cramps was a thing?
used to do that, yep.
Okay, because that's back now.
Oh, it is?
Oh,
It's
really?
Little packets of pickle juice. They're marketing for cramps.
We go down play at Georgia, right? Hot, humid, and that's the first time I'd ever heard of it. It was my sophomore year. I was like, oh no, you guys are drinking pickle juice, and we did, and we didn't cramp up.
Yeah, it's made a comeback.
So it's making a comeback. Is it promoted by the Cucumber Growers of America?
Probably.
Some
But you get it at
scientists?
the grocery store. Like Harmon's had it.
Do you have? Is that part of the when your runners are running and it's a hot or humid? Do you add pickle juice to their regimen?
No, because we hydrate so well with the Relight 3 days before. We
So
have a whole
they're ready to
regimen.
go.
Yeah, we're not really cramping.
Okay, good.
All right, Weston fires the final shot. Coach Taylor needs to stay at BYU forever. She's so inspiring. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, we love it.
Thanks
It's a
so much,
holiday,
guys.
and I know we're just down the road. But tell me, you kept your notebook that you
I
found
kept my
today.
notebook. I was so inspired by that.
Can't
And
throw that out.
What else is so special about that is oftentimes you get into coaching and you have some success and you go away from the thing that you started it with. And I've kept it the same, which it made me proud.
Who
at the moment.
said
That's
don't
awesome.
forget what brung you here? I can't remember who said it, but it might have been Yogi Berra. But anyhow, that's don't forget what got you there, right? Stick with it.
Yeah.
Good luck Friday and throughout the season. Big 12 title defender, national title defender. It's a great time to be you and a runner on your team. So nice job.
Thanks so much.
You have
guys.
anything you need to get out to the gang around the world? Just let us know. And
Love
we're
it.
and
Love
we're gonna
what
be
you guys are doing.
We're gonna
Thanks for-
we'll be following it and we'll be covering it every week.
Okay, well, bring me back in November and I can report.
Okay, we'll do
Done.
it.
Bring
We'll
me back.
we'll
Okay.
schedule it with your people, and we love having them on the show
Okay,
all the time.
check this out, guys. Just,
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Can you
So
see
we're
it?
going to
I don't
see
know.
Well, you
what's
gotta stand up.
behind.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, this is
This is Tom at BYU. Tom with the Niners.
the Tom Homo tribute.
This is him coaching. That is so fun. So that Tom right there was my teammate.
But yeah.
Yep,
this-
that's my old teammate.
So, anyways, that was my tribute to Tom. I wore this at Indoor Nationals just as he announced his retirement.
That's so,
love Tom.
Yeah.
He's
And
a-
love Brian.
Yeah.
So,
a special human being.
Yep.
Tom and Brian's awesome. Brian was a kid living in my backyard when I was playing at BYU. I lived at the Whittingham's house. Kyle
don't
Whittingham's.
say that name.
No, I know. But they were BYU guys back then. Their dad recruited me to come here.
really? Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
He was our defensive coordinator. But the Santiago's lived right behind us. Wonderful family. Unbelievable family.
Yeah,
his
his parents
folks
are
I
great.
love.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Give our best to your husband and your kids, and you can go salvage the rest of Labor Day.
yeah.
Okay,
Thanks
love
for
it, love
spending
it.
some
You
holiday
guys are
time
so
with us,
great.
Diljeet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Head coach, the number 1 ranked women's cross country team, Diljeet Taylor, on with us tonight. Inspiring as always, and so good. Again, the Autumn Classic is Friday, just up the road in Orem, Utah. The women are ranked number 1. The men are ranked number 4. And speaking of national rankings, let's just go right to soccer. 3-0-1 now. They are number 11. The new coaches poll comes out tomorrow. They're 11 before that comes out. Top Drawer came out with their new poll today. They've got them up to number 7.
Which is what I expect them to be in the other polls. So they defeated Auburn 2-0 Friday night at Southfield. So now they've taken UCLA out. Now they take Auburn out. I expect them to be probably 7 or 8. Don't you think?
I think so. Tomorrow they're back on the pitch at Southfield against Arkansas. They've had a great non-conference schedule too.
Yes.
At least named schools: UCLA, Auburn, Arkansas. 7 o'clock tomorrow Mountain Time on ESPN Plus, and then Utah State is at BYU Saturday night, 6 o'clock. on ESPN Plus. Remember, that's 6 o'clock. The game isn't until 8:15. So
you can
The Rock can do that, and then they can go over.
You can
to
multitask on Saturday
the football
night.
game.
Yeah, for sure. So women's volleyball off to a 3-0 start. National ranking number 18. They beat Fairleigh Dickinson 3-0, Central Michigan 3-1, and High Point 3-0. This week, the BYU Nike Invitational is on tap. So Northern Colorado's at BYU Thursday at 6. I'll be at that game. Make sure if you see me there, come say hi. Wichita State's at BYU Friday at 6 p.m. That one's on ESPN Plus. And then Incarnate Word is at BYU on Saturday at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus.
Wichita State will be a good challenge. Some tune-ups there in the Nike Invitational.
And here's what's great. People are going to go, well, wait a minute. They're playing soccer at home on Saturday night at 6 p.m. They're playing volleyball at home at Saturday at 6 p.m. They're playing football at 15.
They just fill it all.
They will fill it all up. That's how
they did
great
last week.
That's how great this BYU fan base is.
Men's Golf Week ranks BYU number 12 in their preseason top 25. I'm telling you, every sport is flying high.
They're all like this right now. So, men's hoops. Always time to talk about men's hoops, right?
You bet.
And you mentioned this earlier. The latest bracketology by ESPN projects BYU as a 2 seed in the West region, playing in Portland to begin next year's NCAA tournament.
CBS ranks them number 3 in the preseason top 25. And College Basketball Report ranks Baylor transfer Rob Wright as the 6th best sophomore in the country.
Was he the best point guard in the transfer portal? He was.
I think he was, yeah.
And now they're talking about him being the 6th best sophomore.
You got Richie, and then you got Rob Wright, and that's just the first 3 names. And then there's everybody else.
You guys, I could just keep going on this thing. It's crazy. So it's going to be a fun basketball season. Let's talk about Cougars in the NFL.
It starts on Thursday.
Yeah, and it was fun to have, we'll mention Puka, but have Puka in town. Got to visit with Puka. He came to the football game.
Fans love seeing him at the games.
And then here's the fun thing. So after the football game, it was late, and the kid said Gavin was hungry from coaching. Said, let's go meet over at Olive Garden. So we ran over to Olive Garden, and who's in there but Samson and Puka, and they're sitting with Ethan Slade, who was a special teams star and defensive back for BYU, and they're sitting there right next to us, and we had a great visit with Puka and Samson and them. So
great to see him here. So Friday, the Chiefs, Kingsley Suamataia.
There you go.
And Coach Andy Reid, they're taking on the Chargers. They're playing in Brazil. So that's how the Chiefs are starting.
That's how the Chiefs are starting. On Sunday. So we'll go to Sunday. The Cardinals. Keaton Slovis made the practice squad with the Cardinals.
Good for Keaton.
They're at the Saints. Taysom's still out. I think the earliest from what we're hearing, talking to brother-in-law Dave, is November, maybe.
Sounds like it.
So
the Dolphins, with Zach Wilson as the number 2, are at the Colts with Blake Freeland.
Zach is going to play before the season's over.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to do well.
Tua gets hurt every year.
And he's going to do well. He just seems like he's in his happy place with this team, with this offense.
Yeah,
I'm excited for Zach to have a chance to have great players around him in a good offense. Yeah. So the Panthers, Brady Christensen at the Jags. So
Ryan Rico and the Bengals are at the Browns. Caleb Etienne, by the way, is on the injured reserve for the Bengals, so he's still getting paid. And,
still there.
And now they're trying to get him healthy.
Bucks are at the Falcons, and Tyler Algier, of course, still with the Falcons.
Didn't play a lick of downs in the preseason. Ready to go.
Yep.
49ers with Fred Warner are at the Seahawks, and Jacob Robinson on the IR with the broken arm.
Right. They're at the Seahawks, right?
Well, he's still got a future there with the Niners.
Yeah. The Lions are playing at the Packers on Sunday. Zane Anderson, Chris Brooks still with the Packers.
How about those two guys? They just keep their jobs.
Zane Anderson, he was a great athlete when he was here. He was a grinder, and he's just been grinding ever since, and he just keeps making it.
Pretty sure we totally underused Chris Brooks when he was at BYU.
100% we did.
The Texans are at the Rams with Puka. As mentioned, Puka at the game the other night. The Ravens with Kyle Van Noy at the Bills Sunday Night Football. So that's the big one. That's the biggest, I think, of the whole weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was great to see a healthy Kyle Van Noy out there chasing the Bills around.
And then Monday night, the Vikings, and they're of interest because Tyler Batty's there. Tyler got hurt in the last preseason game, as did Jacob Robinson. So Tyler's on the IR. They're at the Bears on Monday night.
And he had a good camp. I'm hoping when he comes back that they give him a legit shot.
He and Jacob both had a good camp. And I would not be surprised. And Jacobs is a fracture in his arm. That you can heal up from that pretty good.
It doesn't affect your speed.
And he was running with the 2s when he got hurt. So I would not be surprised they get him back and for them to activate him before the end of the season. So Jacob had a great, and Tyler was playing really well too. So we'll see.
On this day, September 1st, as we head down the home stretch, Halloween's next month, by the way.
Right.
That dawned on me, and I asked Diane if we could put up the Halloween decorations because it's next month.
Wait, the Halloween's
And
31st isn't
she
a
said we're
Monday,
gonna
is
have
it?
to
We
wait a
can't do
little
a show on Halloween.
No, it's Friday.
Oh, it's a Friday. Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay.
On this day, September 1st, 1752, the Liberty Bell arrives in Philadelphia from London, England.
Wow.
Yeah.
And didn't have a crack in it then, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it cracked on the way over.
We
would have sent it back.
Can we pause for a 2-second story? This is going to be longer, 2 seconds. We were back playing in the vet against Temple, and the media was with us, and we went to see the Liberty Bell. And I'm not going to say the player because I don't want to think badly of him, but in the interview, one of the interviewers said to this player, "Hey, you guys got a chance to see the Liberty Bell?" And this player said, "Yeah, we did." He said, "Did you actually get to see the crack in it?" And he goes, "I did not touch it. Leon did." So he thought they were accusing him that somehow he touched something he wasn't supposed to, and the Liberty Bell got a crack in it, and he blamed it on Leon White.
Oh, that's funny.
So there you go. Okay, 1922, New York City law requires all pool rooms to change their name to billiards.
So that's when it happened.
You can't call it a pool room; it's a billiards room.
It's a billiard room now. 1962, on this day, the United Nations announces the Earth's population exceeds 3 billion. In 2024, it's 8.1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
In 1972, Bobby Fischer beat Russian Boris Spassky to become the first American to win the World Chess Championships.
That was a big time for all of us.
It was huge. I
1972.
remember it like it was yesterday.
1984, Mississippi Valley State beats Kentucky State 86-0. Receiver Jerry Rice had 17 receptions for 294 yards and 5 touchdowns.
What?
Yeah, that happened on this day in 1984.
That's something. Can we just say that's something?
That is something.
So in 2006, Roger Goodell became the NFL commissioner. He's still on the job.
Think of the growth that he has seen under his watch in the NFL. For one, they're playing in Brazil on opening week on Friday. 2007, on this day, Appalachian State blocks a 37-yard field goal as time expires to stun Michigan 34-32 in the Big House in one of the biggest upsets in college football history.
Do you know what I think the biggest upset is? When UTEP beat us in 1985.
I know it was very upsetting. I know that.
That's what I'm saying. It was the most upsetting game I've ever been part of.
They were like 35-point underdogs, and I
don't think they'd won a game in like 2 years, and we were coming in on like a 22-game winning streak or something crazy.
I was against that whole thing.
I don't know if it was the biggest upset, but it's the most upsetting game to me ever.
Okay, as it should be.
Okay.
September 1 birthdays. 1871, J. Reuben Clark, Secretary of State for President Calvin Coolidge, first counselor in the first presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and the BYU Law School is named in his honor.
There you go.
Born on this day.
Born on this day, September 1st, 1923, Rocky Marciano, the heavyweight champion of the world.
There you go. 1946, Barry Gibb of the Bee Gees.
Yeah, staying alive. In 1950, Dr. Phil McGraw. Dr. Phil.
1966, Tim Hardaway, NBA champion, gold medalist. He was born this day.
Yeah. 1996, Zendaya, the actress from Spider-Man. But that's not her best film.
No, but that's where people know her from.
The Greatest Showman. She was great in that.
Was she in that?
Yeah, she's the one that is the...
I know she was Spider-Man's
She's the love
girlfriend.
interest of DJ.
P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum. No. She was Zac Efron's girl. She was Zac Efron's girlfriend in it. That's Zendaya, right? I'm not wrong.
I think
that's her best role ever.
I know her from Spider-Man.
She's great in Spider-Man too.
September
She's very
1,
talented.
deaths. 1557, Jacques Cartier, explorer who claimed what is now Canada for France, and that's why they're speaking French up there.
Yeah, okay. 1838, William Clark. We're talking about Lewis and Clark, the great explorer.
Yeah, so this was a September
Died
1
on this
was
day,
a day
September
when
1, yeah.
explorers were
Don't if you're an explorer,
this isn't a
hopefully
good day
you made
for
it through today.
2023, Jimmy Buffett, the singer.
Yeah, what's your favorite Jimmy Buffett song?
Margaritaville.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
We all know the words. Our wise
Living on
guys
sponge cake.
inspirational quote of the week comes from J. Reuben Clark, and it's a lengthy paragraph, but
It's good.
I think it.
And then we can boil it all down if you need a summary. So,
all right. J. Reuben Clark said,
"There is no royal road to any learning. no matter what it is. There's no royal road to any righteous living, no matter who you are or what you are. There's no royal road to anything that's worthwhile. Nothing that is deserving of earning or of cherishing comes except through hard work. I care not how much of a genius you may be, the rule will still hold. So what's he saying? He's saying, you know what? You got to work and you got to grind to accomplish great things, no matter how gifted you are.
And doesn't that best capture our guest tonight, Vance Law,
Yes.
Diljeet Taylor, and it even applies to our Relight Athlete of the Week, Will Ferrin, whose hard work has made him near perfect in an imperfect game, playing in weather and pressure and venues and crowds, and he's made 18 straight field goals and 50 straight extra points. And Diljeet Taylor is the national champion, and Vance Law is an all-star third baseman, and all because of hard work.
They all were grinders, every one of them. Yeah. And Will and Diljeet. You know what? Vance is still a grinder. Like they all understand one thing: you don't get to great heights without grinding, and they put the work in. So when it is the national championship and things might not be going exactly right, they put the work in and they win.
We congratulate all of them and celebrate with them. Next week, College Football Hall of Fame quarterback Gifford Nielsen will be here on the show, and we'll also have soccer star Ellie Walbrook.
How fun.
On Wise Guys.
That's a great show next week.
Yeah, all these shows
it's great every week.
It's insane, but folks love coming on here because they know who they're talking to. They're talking to Cougar Nation.
That's right.
And as you can see from our stream tonight, and those who listen to the podcast and watch on YouTube throughout the week, hey, this is our stuff. This is like a bowl of Fruit Loops.
Yep.
That's what this is.
Yep. The Cougar Nation is amazing, and they're everywhere.
Here's where you can find us this week.
Yeah, tomorrow night, you and I will be on After Further Review. We got some great stuff in store. We had our production meeting last night. We're going to diagram some great plays for you and talk about this last game against Portland State, and look forward to Stanford. That's on BYU TV on the app beginning at 5 p.m. If you can't watch it at 5, once it's on the app, you can watch it whenever you want to.
Yeah. And our good friend David Nixon will join us there. On Saturday, BYU Sports Nation Game Days at 6 Mountain Time on BYU TV and ESPN+. The game is on ESPN at 10:15 Eastern, 8:15 out here. And then the postgame show will be live on the BYU TV app. I'll be in the Deseret News all week, and then we will just march to Stanford.
Are you doing Sports Nation this week?
I'm doing it next week.
Oh, next week.
And I was thinking I was doing it this week, but I'm pretty sure it's next week.
Was I in Sports Nation this week? No, that was last week.
Yeah, we'll be periodically.
We can't keep track of what we're doing
on Sports Nation.
Hey, if I'm supposed to be, will you remind me?
Thank you so much for joining us. Wise Guys is presented by Brady Plus. Supplies plus support. Find more at bradyplus.com.
And by Eddie, HR and payroll software built for small businesses. See how Eddie can serve your team at eddie.com.
By Mountain America Credit Union, empowering dreams for over 80 years. Find out what they can do for you at macu.com.
And our Relight Athlete of the Week is presented by Redmond. The secret is in the salt. Learn what it can do for you at redmond.com.
And it apparently powers the number 1 ranked BYU cross country women's team. And Diljeet Taylor was, she loves it.
That's right.
And it's working for them. I say, you know what? You should keep doing that.
Yeah.
If you just keep winning, then you should just keep doing it.
Whatever works.
Don't change. Wise Guys is distributed by the Deseret News. So we'll see you all week. It's so good to have football here. And that game Saturday night is going to be huge. The place will be rocking. And we'll try to set the stage with our gang for 2 hours on the pregame show.
Yeah, I like 8 o'clock games during the game. I don't like when you and I are on a show at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I don't love the going home from that.
Right.
But hey, it is what it is.
The environment at night at BYU is second to none. Make sure if you can get there, be there, and have lots of fun with us. And say hi when you see us.
Please go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Hit that free button. That'll help us grow the show. And let's get our friends to do it as well, and we'll conquer the world together. Thanks for being here. Have a great week, and we'll see you Saturday and tomorrow and probably in between.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.